Hold on. A
Killing me right now.
done. Well, they partially heard that, I think. And that was a huge ear rape of.
Yeah, I have to move because I'm dying of heat
Yeah.
in Sweden.
It's a little hot here too, except for in well, there wasn't that much today. Today was a little bit colder because of a weather front. It was kind of nice.
Yes. So we have one topic we know we're gonna talk about because we are smart people. We plan ahead.
Is it the one we just recently added, or what? Or are you talking about the one that's been weeks overdue?
Is it like
Which one we
is
go?
it like everything we have on that list right now? Weeks of it.
Well, one of them's maybe 1 week overdue, which is fine because
Is
our
that
original plan
SWFO?
was every
I
two
think
weeks.
SW is the one that is like 1 week. No, that's 2 weeks, I think. No, that's
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, I'm just saying because when it comes down to you, if you think about it, like because our original schedule, or I say original because it's been past that, is every 2 weeks. So
but
one of the topics that you said, one of the topics that you said that is outdated technically isn't because it falls within that schedule.
Yeah, and we were gonna do last week, and I think that was one of the things that happened about the same time was
Mm-hmm.
SWFO. You guess what I'm talking about? You don't, because we are smart people.
Well, that's what I mentioned. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. So I think we should we start with that, or should we start with the CG stuff? Not CGI, CG. We secret coding language in the nerd ensemble stuff. Nerd. You can't get
There's
enough
no
of it.
CGI. There's only CG. What are you on about?
Yeah, but I said not
I
CGI.
know it's I know I mean, I know you mean like, the term, but still. Technically CG still works in that case. So bully. No. That's not at all what that means. Okay.
This is a lot of different stuff. So
Yeah, I mean I guess we could start with SW. You wish. But first of all, before I mention anything, I should actually start recording. Okay then. So, uh, very belated intro bit, but welcome to the podcast of Nerd Ensemble, episode 3. Yay. So, this voice here, Nexus, for if you can't see on screen, say because I'm probably going to make this an audio only thing at some point. So, this be Nexus.
Nexus. He's Nexus.
I just said it.
I'm not Nexus.
Okay. Yeah, that's not Nexus, and I'm Nexus. Here we go. No. At least say your name.
Sweden Catboy Gaming and Sweden Boy Gaming, depending on where you're watching me.
I just mainly put Sweden Boy Gaming everywhere that your thing is.
Yeah. Also, one thing he should do though is because, or actually, like this stream, or I want to give you this. Write the title "Not a Nexus" on my name, just because of the joke. It's such a perfect joke, and I'm gonna. Yes. I don't think it's
just roll with it. Go for it. Who cares? Just go for it. Don't need explanation. Go. Do your joke.
I've already done it.
I didn't hear it. What was it? You were kind of lagging a little bit there. What?
Kids these days, I'm telling you, back in my day.
Well, back in your day, people actually did podcasts in the same room. It's kind of hard to do it these days.
We didn't even have internet. I make sound like I'm like 50 years old. In reality, I'm 22. Back in my day, a podcast was 4 men sitting on at the table.
That sounds like the fakest old man ever.
You're a fake old man.
I mean, I'm not even trying to be fake, so what do you want about?
I'm not trying to be fake. Have you been?
No, let's go and start with a topic. Let's start with our topics already. So, yeah.
So, EA, everyone's favorite company.
Is that so?
Yes.
You know, I didn't think about that in our conversation earlier. A little bit off topic of us starting a topic, already digressing. But earlier we were talking about our like favorite game companies and not favorite. We're just basically talking about favorites and stuff we don't like. And it didn't even pop into my mind about EA. I'm like, wait a minute, no, that would technically be the worst company that I know.
Like
Never mind.
It's like pushed at the side right now, so nobody cares about them.
It just like pushed completely out of mind that I didn't even think it existed while we were talking about that.
Then I'm like, EA, it was very common to EA. You're like, oh yeah, they do exist.
Like, oh yeah, those guys exist. Forgot about that. Even though I own a couple of their games.
Yeah, you own Star Wars Battlefront 1 probably, you own Star Wars Battlefront 2. The new ones. The older ones are only Arts and don't know.
EA fronts. EA Front 1, EA Front 2. Mirror's Edge games. I still own from Titanfall.
Do you own any of the Harry
Titanfall
Potter
2,
games? The more IRL, not the Lego ones. Because I owned Harry Potter Half-Blood Prince. That was made by EA. Yeah, or at least released by them. I don't know if they...
Well, it's EA games. It's, it's in the game, buddy.
Yeah, it's in the game. But yeah. You can't forget.
Back to the topic of EA.
Yes. So
and what
they are really another... What I have felt like when I watched the trailer, it was a new Star Wars The Force Unleashed game. Basically, but... Unleashed is... I think under LucasArts only. They can't really use that name.
No, they can.
Technically,
LucasArts sold everything.
Yeah, that is some other company in that gaming genre that they can't use the Unleashed stuff. I think it's more than.
Well, it's not a, it's part of the developer thing because the developers making the new one is the same folks that made Titanfall 2. That's the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Basically, Fallen Order is a new Star Wars game coming out in November, I think. 29th of November, I think I read. Not 100% sure.
I think so, but anyway. So yeah, Star Wars Fallen Order, it's being made by Respawn Entertainment. That's the name of the devs, and people made Titanfall and everything, which in a way makes you think, okay, that's gonna be good. And just to do a little tiny summary of what the game's gonna be, it's gonna take place during the, I think, what was it? Oh yeah,
is it between Clone Wars again and Episode 4?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, but I understood that, or it's going after or under the new movies, because
no, it is definitely between Clone Wars and 4 because it talks about Jedi still being alive and stuff like that, so it would make more sense in that case. No, they say that the
Jedi are fallen, so it must be... No,
I know, that's what I'm saying, like, they're falling around, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So that's getting interesting.
Insert Avenge the Fallen meme here. Get it? I'm getting some Avengers stuff in here. Anyway. Okay, now this is I'm definitely cutting that out in the edit. We don't need to be slurping drinks down during a thing.
Oh, don't worry, I have a whole soda left.
Be professional.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
The only non-professional thing, the only
two different things.
Just do what you wouldn't do in your professional gaming point, which apparently is what you still do. Anyway, so to continue the whole thing, of what it's about is between Clone Wars and Episode 4, and already forgot the guy's name.
Yeah.
But it goes the story of a Jedi just going through that point. I don't know. I've only watched the trailer maybe twice.
I watched it
That's
once,
it.
and
So
basically,
it didn't fall through.
I remember Palpatine being in it, saying "Execute Order 66."
Yeah, because he found one of the transmissions from a clone.
Yeah.
Found one of the things.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called, transmitter. I don't know, something like that.
And if I don't know if the tweet is, I think it's true because it become a meme about the tweet about it's being a single player, no microtransactions, and like.
Yeah, it was because people were like, "Oh, it's EA. That means I don't want to buy it because it sucks. It's being made by EA." Like, two things. One, it's being made by Respawn. EA is a publisher, so that's just that. And two, even though Titanfall 2, yeah, it did kind of have some little loot box elements, but the campaign was great. And this is going to be a single player only game. So, this much I believe in. That they're not going to add anything to it. 'Cause what kind of loot boxes are you going to add to a single player only game? What are you going to do?
You can get Obi-Wan's laser sword that is so completely, or laser sabers. I don't freaking care.
Well, if it's a color of lightsabers or something, that's just cosmetics, and honestly, that's fine for DLC or something. In a way, that's kind of fine.
That's why.
Though I'd prefer it to be unlockable, but still, yeah.
That's why going into another thing EA and Respawn have done is Apex. But we have talked about it before, but there they just did a loot box system with only cosmetics, and so did Blizzard and stuff like that, and that is fine in a way.
It's fine in general. There's no downside to that. I mean, that's how you should do. That's how you should do microtransaction. It's the
because
point.
You have also the gambling aspect to it. And
no, it's the point. Look, it's the point with the cosmetics that all it does is just change the look of things. So in that case, perfectly fine for you to go ahead and have microtransaction 4 because it's not like it's gonna help you win or anything. It's to make you look different. That's what things should do.
It was Battlefield 1 that added in, like, you could get the weapon and stuff from the loot boxes.
Yeah, but that's a different weapon. That's not cosmetics.
No, and
has nothing to do with cosmetics.
But I get no, I don't like that. That makes it like. It depends on how you could do it though. If like.
I mean, yeah, that would be the pay to win scenario. Getting a weapon out of it. Instead of say you're level 12, getting a level 50 weapon out of a loot box. Like, yeah, that's pay to win, and that's wrong. Shouldn't do that. But yeah.
Yeah, that is what we go in. But yeah, that's the good part about Fallen Order. Do we find any? Okay, so what can be the downside of the game though?
Of the game in general? I mean,
Fallen Order.
I don't really think much. I don't really think much because it is a new story in a sense. I mean, yeah, you're still going through the same story, inserting more branches into this actual storyline. Because, as you mentioned before, we have Force Unleashed, which took place during around the same time. So now we're having this taking place. So, I don't know. I mean, it seems fine, really.
Yeah.
I don't really see how much they could screw it up unless they rush it to death.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have a whole year, basically, or at least 6 months, 8 months. Now my math is off, but
depends on how long they're gonna take, but
yeah,
still.
They have until at least November to complete it, and then. And
I mean, yeah.
Besides,
obviously they have enough time.
So they probably
they've already developed a lot.
Yeah. So
I'm sure they've already got a lot developed, and they still have plenty of time to finish.
Yeah. As you said, it's not gonna be a lot of downside, but I think one downside is gonna be that it's still playing out around Clone Wars. That's probably gonna be one of the.
What's not gonna be in the Clone Wars? It's not even the Clone or past Clone Wars. It's between episode 3 and 4 because Clone Wars is before 3, so it's still between 3 and 4.
Yeah, but that's the Clone Wars did go on until after episode 3, basically. The Clone Wars is basically the whole type.
Yeah, but people don't really consider that in a sense the timeline.
But yeah, but it's right after the Clone Wars, and like we said, Unleashed was also after Clone Wars. That's gonna be a downside, I think, because it's around the same time.
Well, not exactly. I feel like it's gonna go like right as Order 66 was executed. So it's like as soon as that came out, that's when this story is gonna take place. It wasn't like that for Force Unleashed. There was still some time in between when Darth Vader was going out and actually killing Jedi and doing that stuff, and then you have Star Killer in, and there was plenty of years in between that to go for. So I'm pretty sure the time zones between these two games are still gonna be pretty different.
Yeah, that's the only difference. But I think like I would want to have something around the era that is now. I even what people said. I watched Last Jedi last week, I think, or this week. When did I mention that? I think it was this week. I watched it
It doesn't
because it
matter.
was
Point of.
out on Netflix. I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it because I haven't watched it yet, so I watched it. And I thought it was decent. It wasn't. It was more of a dragged out version of continuous story. So basically, yeah, I wanted around this era that is now because it's a little bit like it's newer. It's like fresher stories, and you can actually do something. But continuing around the Clone Wars and around episode 4 is getting like older, and we have done so much already on that part.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of know what you mean, but at the same time, no one's really gone with this story in the form of a game, like, during this exact point, I suppose.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, you
Yeah.
you can always go on that, but I think the story's gonna be great anyways. That's the point. The only downside for me is that it's around that we have done so much around. Like you have the classic Battlefront games. Those two, both, is technically going over both Clone Wars and uh, Rebel Wars. I don't know what to call it, episode 4 to 6, but like Rebel Wars.
I mean, Rebels?
Yeah, Rebels.
What?
The
What
Rebel
are you on
War
about?
against the Empire. And the 4 to 6.
That's just... That's not even called the Rebel.
Yeah, I don't know
I
what
don't know what you're on
call it.
about.
That's why I call it Rebel War.
You just... I don't know, just the Galactic Empire stage, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's still
And
going
then,
on.
like,
basically,
afterwards
because-
is the First Order stage. And just of different stuff.
Yeah, so, but around
Wow.
those stuff, like when the Galactic, when Lord Vader ruled the Empire.
He didn't rule the Empire, but okay.
Yeah, but he was basically the ruler while Palpatine sat in the background watching him.
No.
I mean, if you watch, technically he did
He was a
rule.
knight in that sense. Like if you're thinking of like that sense, like he was like the knight.
Yeah, but he
Makes
was the one
sense.
that everyone feared. They didn't even care about Palpatine. But it was because, like,
I mean, they did. It just he was the background element.
yeah, nobody cared about him because the one they feared was Palpatine. But now my cat needs to get out. Why do you need to get out when I'm busy, dumb cat?
I don't know. Complete digression. Considering we're all the way over here in a different Star Wars take, and then we got freaking something about a cat.
The cat
But
is
to go back to the point with Fallen Order, I still feel like it's gonna be fine. I mean, especially when it comes to the developers Respawn, because
yeah,
they did do a pretty good job on Titanfall 2, and especially when it came to what they did with the first Titanfall, it was like, yeah, that wasn't so good campaign-wise because it wasn't really much of one. It was literally multiplayer with some cutscenes. That was it, or with like story elements placed inside of it. Then you have 2, which had the actual campaign, and it was actually pretty good. So now you have this. I feel like they are going in a good way.
yeah, I believe so too. Story-wise, I hope they don't mess up the gameplay, though. That's an important factor. Also, like,
That is a thing when it comes to Star Wars games. You need to have the right sort of aspect. Like, how is the lightsaber system gonna work? Like lightsaber battles. How is the gunfights gonna go? If it's gonna be able to switch around, like you can use a lightsaber or a blaster, or and also how are the Force abilities gonna be? Because you're gonna be playing as a Jedi, so you gotta have good Force abilities.
yeah,
What you're gonna be able to do. Also, is there gonna be many quick time events? Because that kind of just sours down the experience in games. Even the good games these days have quick time events, and you're just thinking to yourself like, don't let there be too much in this game. Let us do the work.
I mean, basically, that was good with Unleashed. Because it was like every boss battle or any special creature, you had that quick time you have to be fast to
Yeah,
kill.
it was really. I mean, in a way, I kind of appreciate the fact you have these like little cinematic moments with them. In a way, that's kind of okay, but it's like I want to be able to do that. Like, why don't you let me rip that guy's arm off instead of you having to do it with by pressing square, or hey, I'm pressing triangle and boom, I've just freaking sliced his head off. Like,
Yeah.
why can you
Why
let me
don't
do
you
that?
get a full dive VR set? That is when you're gonna do it.
Oh, so playing Star Wars VR, which is a thing already.
Yes, but I mean a proper one where you can actually rip it off yourself. Like you go forward to rip it off.
Yeah, it's not realistic one yet, but it's still there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, that's basically all we can say about that game, because,
We don't have
we
any
just have to wait and
information on
see.
it
You know,
yet.
yeah, wait until more developers talk more about it. I mean, there was a huge panel, they had little questions, which, actually, yeah, I could talk about that a little bit. So,
I
I could
haven't
break down the
read,
trailer just a
I have
tad
not
bit.
read about it, so I don't know anything about it.
Watched the panel. You watch panels, but anyway,
Free.
it's just basically from the trailer. So they were just talking about stuff in the trailer point. So one thing I like is, or one thing I find funny is there's a show called Gotham, which is basically the like Bruce Wayne as a kid, like becoming Batman in a sense. And I think whoever plays Joker, basically, that guy is the main character in Fallen Order. I'm pretty sure that's still the same guy. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that's the same guy.
Who is it that
Which
plays
is
the
kind of funny.
Joker in the Batman?
in well, not in Batman, but I'm saying the in the Gotham show, like it was like his name was Jerome, but I don't know the actor's name, so it was just somebody. There was that, and then there was stuff like, did you ever watch the show Star Wars Rebels?
So no, I haven't. I watched Star Wars Clone Wars, but that was the only Disney series I have watched.
Yeah, with Star Wars Rebels, like they had these guys called the Inquisitors, which is basically like the lower step from Darth Vader. Like in a sense, they were trained in the ways of the lightsaber, but that's all they got. They didn't really get much. I mean, I'm pretty sure they got some kind of Force ability, but I don't really think so. They were basically just people who would go after Jedi. They were mainly sent after them, and that's who's. There's actually Inquisitors in the game, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the
So in
one
a
of the
sense, like you
main
have actual
bad
trained
guys looks
people.
like one. The one in the black.
Then there's
See in the trailer.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And there's also other ones. There's like other stormtroopers that are specific. I forgot their names, but they're specifically trained to hunt down Jedi at the same time to fight them. But they're not as good as an Inquisitor. It's like a step below them. So you have this like stage system of the like different stormtroopers you have to face.
But do they have the same aim as a stormtrooper?
Pretty sure they get harder within stage. With each stage, so Stormtrooper is gonna be the trashiest as ever.
Like,
Stormtrooper, try to like aim straight at your face, shoots, it ends up going 6 miles the other direction.
like,
Nope.
how did you get how did you get trained? I don't know. I got given a weapon. They told me to shoot.
See, this is why, this is why you don't hire new people in as Stormtroopers. Just kept the clone program going. It would have worked out better. They were bred for combat. It's literally their motto. When you have Stormtroopers, it's like, I'm just some kid who got in the academy. It happens. That was it.
I mean, the clones wasn't that much better either, in my opinion.
They actually did kind of
Yeah,
good.
they hit at least a target, but
No, I mean they still did good. It depends on who they were. Mostly the higher ups did way better.
yeah.
But
Is
yeah.
it Rex? It was called the one of the higher ranked ones.
Yeah, like Rex, Cody, Wolf. Rex, Cody, Wolf.
Yeah.
There were other ones, but I can't remember the names. I recently watched Clone Wars 2, so I don't know. I think that's mainly all we can talk about when it comes to Fallen Order. But yeah, I'm definitely whenever more stuff comes out about that, we'll talk more of it. But for now, there's nothing to really talk about considering that.
It's we have is the information about game is a trailer this far, to be honest.
Okay, it's really hard to do that.
I'm just waiting for you. Um, uh,
I was trying to delete. I was trying to delete it using like just my mouse, but it's like hard to do that. Okay, so
Applause.
to also note for anyone actually in the stream at the moment, like mine or well, I don't know how he's doing it, you know, Swede, but the way my stream, the way I do it is that I don't look at chat, or I'll look at chat sometimes, but I won't really respond to it till like in the middle of topics.
Yes.
In a
So
sense.
basically,
So just see if there's
about
any
now,
questions.
if you have had anything written down, we're not gonna try to, unless it's something that is like obvious. I think we both gonna understand. Like, yeah, this is a good thing said that fits in more or less now. I think that's only time we're gonna.
Well, I don't know, but mostly just like, you know, if you're gonna have anything to say towards the topics we're talking about, then you can go ahead and put in the chat, and you know, we'll look through and in the middle of a topic or between switching, like say there's anything else to add, and yeah. And by the way, someone in my chat has spoke 3 different languages.
Good
So,
job. Welcome
I
to
don't
Russia.
know what's been said.
We don't speak English.
Fun fact. One of the sentences they said is in Russian. I'm pretty sure.
How could I know there was a Russian guy?
Because there's always a Russian. It's the same person. They say like hi, another word which if it had an inye that would have been year. But anyway, then there's other stuff. I'm not gonna begin to translate that in case it's something I shouldn't be saying. But yeah. Okay, we should move on to what topic today?
What happened today? The world ended.
What topic now?
I don't know. We have the CG, like we talked about, there, or we have the one we added yesterday, I think.
Ah, the newbie. We might as well get some old ones out of the way while we're at it. So, CG it is, meaning cloud gaming, and not in the sense you're thinking, you know, like, you know, we have some saves in the cloud or whatever. I mean, your entire games played in the cloud.
Yes,
In a sense.
we're going up in space and we're gonna play the games in the clouds.
There are no clouds in space. I don't know what you're doing.
The greatest failure.
The show is called Nerd Ensemble, and you have failed. You have failed your duty as a nerd.
Didn't I list up my nerd stuff a week ago? On this week, anime, movies, series, gaming, no space.
I'm a nerd in many different ways, so I don't know.
Yeah, but I have also a list of nerdy stuff.
You're a limited nerd.
No, nerdy stuff that I think is important to me. But yeah, cloud gaming. Like, what was it? A month ago, you had I think it was a month ago or 2 months ago, the Google Stadia was announced.
It was about 2 or 3. Yeah. Which I do have. Fun fact: I should have read it before we started, like weeks ago when we came up with this topic. But I do have a Game Informer somewhere that literally talks all about it.
Yeah.
Because I do have Game
we
Informer.
basically know
So,
this. The Google Stadia is basically, I think it was called Project Phoenix before, or if it was Project Z, I don't know. It had a name.
Project something.
But that was beta testers and / alpha testers. I don't know what state they were in.
Pretty sure
Alpha.
Pretty sure it's alpha because
Yeah. I think it's
usually
alpha.
what's in beta
Beta
you start
basically
getting
now. But yeah, so Google Stadia is basically the newest in the cloud gaming industry this far that's coming out. That is meaning you should be able to play any game basically anywhere on your PC. If you have not the best PC, you should be able to play games that aren't able to be played on that PC. As far as I know, I
in a way,
read if you're gonna have to pay for it. You're probably gonna have to, but you know.
I'm sure it's going to be paid for because that's how this system works. It makes a lot of sense that way.
Yeah.
Because you're basically, they have servers of very powerful computers running like remotely, and that's how you connect to those computers remotely and you play your games that way. So as long as you have a good internet connection and basic computer that can run I guess just run Chrome perfectly fine, then hey, you're most likely going to be okay. You're most likely going to be okay in that
I
category
think it
to actually
mentioned
try it
that
out.
you had to be able to run at least. So basically, if I
I
think
don't
it's Windows 7 and up, because if you can't run on Windows 7, you're bad.
Well, some people can really badly run Windows 10 or not even run Windows 10, which I should know. I have a laptop that can't run Windows 10, but that's saying like I don't think those would work very well in this case. But when it comes to the whole cloud gaming thing, it's like a very old system, like a very old topic because it's back in the days when OnLive used to exist. Did you ever have that?
No,
OnLive?
I don't think that was a thing.
Yeah.
It may not even been a thing in Europe in general.
I think it was a Europe thing. It was in Europe because I'm pretty sure a lot of people talked about it there. But in a sense, it was basically like there were a bunch of different games in the cloud, so you can pay a subscription and then you get to play a bunch of different games just there. I mean, if you didn't have a subscription, you got to play the demos of those games. You could get on the game and they would have a little demo that you could play for like maybe 10, 15 minutes, I think, maybe just 30. But you can play it for that long, and then it'll cut you off saying like, oh, your trial is expired. Then you can go back to play the game and, do it again, but you still have the same time limit. But you can just go from there to there.
Yeah.
So in that case, that's basically what that was, a huge library of games. Later on that got shut down, and then a bunch of other stuff come in, and now we have the latest edition, which is basically as we've been talking about, like Google Stadia.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
we have had both Xbox and PlayStation have had their own cloud gaming industry going on them for a few
Well,
years now. I think.
Xbox is starting theirs in a sense, but it's different. They haven't had theirs. They haven't had a cloud gaming.
Ah, they are. Sorry, but PlayStation have had it for a few years. It's not been existing.
Theirs
in
is a
Europe.
little.
Yeah, it's terrible.
There's a little.
It's good
Yeah, because
on your own console. It works perfectly. You can play fine. Only issue
yeah, because with
is-
PlayStation, it was called PlayStation Now, and before it was just like Europe didn't have it. I mean, before I didn't even know that. He had Swede had to say that to me before, so I didn't know. But it was just to have a bunch of games running in the cloud, and there you go. But PlayStation's not very good with servers. They really suck at it. So it's not very playable. But then they also implemented a thing later down the road where you could download games off of PS Now and play it that way.
Oh, if
So as
you
long as you have
have
storage
if
on your
it's for the
console, there's that.
PlayStation 4, sadly, because PlayStation.
Oh yeah,
3
just
games
PlayStation 4 games.
Yeah,
Mainly because they don't have any actual backwards compatibility on the console.
that's what
They
I
don't
think.
have any sort of system for that.
That's gonna be interesting in the future now. Now when they
Yeah, PS5 is supposed to have it in a sense.
Yes.
It's supposed to be PS4 compatible, and it's not been announced if it's going to, but they're thinking like 3 and stuff like that maybe. But mostly 4 is going to be.
Yeah.
But to go back to the main ones, we're mainly talking about PC ones. I mean, well, before we go back, I just remembered you also said something about Xbox, but yeah, they don't. In a way, they don't actually have a online one. They have Game Pass right now, which is just you pay $10 a month and you can get a bunch of games to download for free. In that case, or not free, $10 a month. You get a bunch of
But
games
it's
you can
basically
download
free
and play
because
those.
of it's just $10. That's a thing.
In that sense, I suppose.
This is a thing I think is funny also when people say, but it's not free if you pay for it. But what if you buy the games alone? What would it cost then? How much would that go up to?
Well, it's going to cost way more, obviously, but at the same time, you also have like with the Game Pass, it gives you like a discount, so there's that too. So yeah,
Yeah. But that is what I think is like. Yes, you get free games basically, but even if it's cost, it's free games because you pay less about what you would have done for getting all those games otherwise. Like I promise you, back when I was young, today games are too expensive compared to when 10 years ago I bought a game that a new game was $60 back when I was a kid. Now it's $70. They have high
Yeah.
like
It's got
that-
pretty higher.
okay, and that is just the standard edition of every game.
Yeah, so imagine how it is for Xbox players being like, oh, hey, you can just pay $10 a month, and instead of like, oh, hey, every month you get maybe 3 or 4 new games that come out, and they're all $60 to $70 each. So instead of that, you pay $10 a month, and for Xbox, anything Xbox exclusive gets put onto Game Pass immediately. So that's always nice.
Yeah.
So you just get that for $10 a month.
But then think
So it
about
just
this.
comes out and such.
Then you have deluxe edition, like that costs like $80 and stuff like that. That's like, and then I'm not kidding. Okay, I gotta tell this. I think it's like like Super Deluxe Edition or something on a game. It costs 110. $110 to get everything in the game basically, and it's not even that much. It's like skins and stuff like that. And maybe a season pass. So basically,
Yeah, stuff costs a lot.
so basically, cloud gaming today. That's also a thing we talked about when we talked about this topic in general. Is that it's the future now? This is gonna be the future zone. Like, we're not gonna
Yeah.
pay for a console to have it. We're gonna have a PC. We're gonna be able to play almost anything on a PC or a.
I mean, right now, think about it this way in a sense. I know we're digressing a lot. We went from cloud gaming, but to start off, we already are getting the services, but to start off, Xbox is already having their, what a lot of people love to call the Xbox One SAD edition, because it's the Xbox One S all digital edition. So basically it means they take out the disc drive. You can't have physical games, it's digital only. So, in a sense, yeah, people are moving to digital platform only.
But I don't think it's that.
Kind of weird they have to make a console for
work.
that.
Me and my friend talked about that yesterday, I think, on a
Yeah.
video. I
And
said
then,
that digital is 10 to 20 years from to actually being possible for 100%, because you still have the Gen 30 and 40, those born 1930 and 1940, still alive. That age is still here. They need to think about that first. But there is
it's not
old
even
game-
about that. I mean, did you just say 1930, 1940?
Yeah, they're like
That has nothing to do with it. Even people in 1980s and 90s, like there was nothing wrong with digital back then. It was mostly just
yeah,
physical.
but we have at
And it was
least
physical media.
but we have learned to adapt faster.
Not everyone. Not everyone.
No, never, no.
It's the point. Look, when it comes down to it, in a sense, is that we have actual people like to physically collect things. Like even I do. I like to have
same.
the physical copies of games collected to have, like, say, I don't know what, like a series I like. I'll actually have all the physical discs instead of just digital, because then it just doesn't work out.
I have physical discs everywhere. I have 1, 2, 3. I think I have 10 on one. No, 9. Like 7 there. I had like 16 PlayStation 4 games in physical form.
90% of my PS4 library is all disc. So
It's more because
I
I
should say
have gotten
98.
half of the for free, and those games I have not gotten for free. I've like bought because it's like stuff I want. Like Final Fantasy X, I already own it on PlayStation 3, and I have a PlayStation 2 disc, so I have 2 discs on that game.
Right.
So buying it on digital is fine for me then, because I already own it twice on 2 different consoles. That makes it. That's the thing. If it's a series, like he said, a series that you collect on, fine. I prefer to collect it than physical. Otherwise, I don't really care. Like if it's like a one game thing, like Limbo, I'm taking one of the greatest game I played ever, because I love puzzle games. That is like, yeah, I don't really care to have a physical form of one of those sort of games. But yeah.
But back to the other thing when it comes to cloud gaming. Since we were talking about like before, the last thing I mainly mentioned was Xbox. Their thing they're trying to do right now is Project X Cloud, which old news. I know. It's just we're trying to go with this whole cloud gaming topic, which the way they're wanting to make it is so you can play all the Xbox games on many different devices. So you can play all of them on your computer, all of them on your phone, just whatever. And even in the next like gen of console, they're planning on making two different versions. One being the actual new console, and then the other one just being a streamer console. So you can actually stream everything to it. So it'd just be like bare bones thing, like say something like a Steam box, because back then it would just it would just like stream Steam games to it. But in this case, it would be stream Xbox stuff to it. So yeah, that's kind of their idea of going like two different ones. Which is kind of a good thing. If you have good enough internet, then hey, Dreambox, go for it.
Yeah.
But just imagine that. Playing a full-on console game that good on your phone. And it has full support too, so it's not going to be like one of those broken support games where you have to have a controller plugged into the phone and then map all of the buttons.
Yes.
It's going to be fully supported, so you actually have on-screen controls fully set up already, and it works perfectly.
Like
Might be a little bit of latency because you're streaming, but yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, there's that, yeah. You can just do a lot of stuff in that case.
Oh my god. I played on Nightmare. I played that on the phone. Oh god.
Just imagine. I mean, it'll be sampled in a good way, but I don't know. One thing I hope they do is they utilize the phone's actual technology rather than just that, because in a sense, phones are a lot easier to get better resolutions and better features on than getting an actual TV. So, say for my phone example, it's still a 1080p phone, which kind of sucks. I figured that out recently. It's a 1080p, not a 4K phone. Sucks. But it does have HDR support. So, say in xCloud, if I could actually use the HDR support in that, that'd be pretty cool. I'd be perfectly okay with that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Of course, with the other stuff, do we know much about the AMD cloud gaming?
I mean, it's probably the same thing as the other cloud stuff. Probably in the end.
I think in a way like they started it, but it's a little different. I think I don't remember what it was. I think they already have like a price point imagined, and it was like a kind of a high one. It's in a way sort of close to what Shadow is, like the Shadow PCs where it's like $30 a month. And I think AMD is basically going to do that since where it's a full pay for AMD computer in the cloud. So it's $30 a month, or it's going to be, I don't know, somewhere around there.
Probably.
I don't know too much about it. It's just that it's a
like,
thing I remember hearing.
Yeah, and as far as we know, or in general cloud gaming in general, that is probably gonna be like, even everything. I think when it comes to cloud gaming, it's gonna cost you like, depending on how much you like, different how much you want and how much you wanna pay for it. Like, do you want they probably gonna even do like different PC version also, like do you want to pay, like, we say you're not gonna play a game that doesn't need the newer stuff to be able to run, like we take what can we take, I don't remember games like Star Wars Battlefront.
It doesn't.
Star Wars Battlefront, you don't need a heavy PC to be able to run that decently good. And
you don't even need much of a good PC to begin with.
Yeah.
Come on.
So basically, probably that's gonna be like, do you gonna be able to pay cheaper for that, or are they gonna have one price for one PC only that can run every game? That's the issue, because that is also a thing they don't talk about openly. Like, what is the price range? How many different versions of PCs can you like hire? What's the loan hire?
You're moving your mic cord around or something a lot.
Yeah, my leg is itchy.
Well, we can tell because it's a little freaky. But in a sense, like to explain that a little better because I feel like you had a kind of trouble there. But so basically, if you go from like what you would want is a mid-range computer, a mid-end, so that could run all the basic game, or like, of course, run all the basic games and run all the semi-good games. So in a sense, let's use. All right, I'm trying to think of like something that's like not so grand a resource than something that is pretty high on the resource list.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's a high risk game that you need a good PC
You
for.
say that word really weird.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey? I don't know.
Odyssey.
Odyssey. Odyssey. I don't know.
It's Odyssey.
I don't know. It depends. If you're gonna hear a Greek come to you and say, "That's wrong, man."
It's how it's been said forever. It's the actual, you know,
That
the actual Greek tale.
Odyssey,
Odyssey.
yeah, I don't know. I don't care. I play it, but yeah,
Whatever. It's honestly like you're trying to say Medusa.
Medusa.
Who's actually in it, actually. But, anyway, what it comes down to, though, like, yeah, let's say Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That will definitely be, requiring, like, a pretty high-end computer, so you definitely want, like, a bigger price for that, say, the $30 a month thing I was talking about. And then say you go down to, like, $20 a month for something that's, like, a little mid-range, like, let's say, I don't know, just, like, a slightly older Call of Duty game. Like, those require kind of a good
Warfare
computer.
2, Black Ops, those games basically.
Above that, really. Above that, really.
So Black Ops 2 basically.
Well, Black Ops 2, maybe, yeah. Modern Warfare 2, that still doesn't require that much.
Yeah, my PC
yeah.
is like low and high, mid and hybrid. Like it's between it. Like it can run.
I don't know. Your computer is. You told me yourself that your computer has just an integrated GPU. That just immediately sinks down that that spec list.
Yeah, but it still goes weird because some games works perfectly that is older or is newer, but other old games doesn't work at all. I'm like, good job, PC.
Well, that's mainly because the newer games require an actual dedicated GPU. You have just the integrated, not exactly the best.
Yeah, go to bed. Actually, don't.
I mean, specifically, I don't know. What's even worse is, like, I know I mentioned, like, with chat, we don't really talk too much, like, to the chat unless we're, like, in between topics, but just randomly gotta say hello to Puzzle Primate, one of my tech-savvy friends, which is funny, they entered right at this point in time. So, yeah. Wow. Might be weird. But, yeah. So to go along with that topic, yeah, you definitely need to find yourself a GPU there, buddy. Even if it's not that grand of one, just
yeah, but I have to get money. You could donate some to me. Wink, you 0.26.
yeah, use my 26 cents. Let me do that.
Yes. I don't think if you get PayPal that much, but I think the minimum is $1.
Yeah, but I guess to continue our topic of the cloud gaming stuff, you know, we already talked about, just to recap for those joining in, we already talked about Google Stadia, of that new stuff. Project X Cloud, I mentioned that a little bit, and the confusion of what AMD cloud gaming may be, because I didn't really read a lot about it. I just put it down. Yeah. Then we have GeForce Now, which this is an older thing. But I just included it because it's a way to talk more about it, and it's something I know more of rather than the other stuff. So the way with GeForce Now, it's, as I mentioned, it's basically NVIDIA using their, like, top tier computers in the cloud. So for example, their GPU that can have, like, 25 gigabytes of VRAM, I think. So they have, like, that much, and, you know, the best CPUs, and just basically the best computer you could think of. They have that, and you can play whatever game you own on certain platforms. But of course, the downside being the game has to be supported on GeForce Now to play it correctly. I mean, you can play whatever game you want, but you're gonna have to reinstall it each time, and then it's probably gonna crash. There's just a bunch of issues on that one. But it's in a sense what people would like. If you have a bad computer, you can play really good games. That leg must be really itchy.
No,
or
I'm
something.
actually not itching. I may have made a sound. That was because I was busy. Why is something's pinging me on
I
Discord?
don't know,
Only
because
okay, it was just anime stuff. Okay,
this is why you have streamer mode.
I have streamer mode, but I
It
didn't say the number.
it should block it out. Then so just forget about it.
No,
We need to
I'm
look
not
at it
like
right now.
you that can
We are
see
busy right
500
here.
pings and leave it alone.
I don't even see the number. I can't read that number. I just see that there's a ping there. We can wait till later to think about it. We don't have to worry about that. We're in a podcast.
Yeah, and I'm listening, but I'm checking why I got a ping.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I'll continue on. We're basically done here with the whole cloud gaming stuff at this point, because that's mainly the main topics we have when it comes down to it. Is just when it comes down to it, what is it? With GeForce Now, like I said, it does seem, I mean, obviously that is going kind of well, and right now they don't actually have a price range to begin with, but, you know, you never know how that's full on going to turn out, in a sense. So, don't know if we're going to get, like, what is it? Don't know if we're going to get, like, something that's going to be expensive or what, you know, they just haven't talked about it. That's basically the same with the other guys, like, we don't know how much it's actually going to cost. Is it going to be, like, 20 bucks a month? 30 bucks a month?
Are they gonna have
we're
different
talking here?
price ranges depending on how good you want it?
Yeah.
That's
You gotta
always
have
gonna be
options here.
like, yeah.
Well, when it comes to Project X Cloud, I don't really see a point in options because it's just Xbox games.
Yeah.
So you can just like stream Xbox games to different devices. So that's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's concludes most stuff we know about cloud gaming in general. And now I'm moving my cord. Don't worry, I'm not crazy. Okay, maybe crazy. Probably.
You're definitely crazy, and you're also yeah, making a lot of stuff annoying.
I'm just myself.
Well, I'm saying the cord thing. When it does that, that's just your headset being broken.
Yeah.
You have a broken part of your headset.
I think it's my actually not my headset. But I don't say my friend doesn't complain.
Does your headset have?
On PlayStation? So I think it's the video part that is broken.
What has nothing to do with your video?
Not video card, sound card.
What's not really your? I wouldn't really think it's your sound card because unless you actually have a detachable sound card that you had to install or some, if you do, that means your computer must be seriously old because those are all integrated now. But most of the time, anyway.
I bought a separate one because the one on my motherboard didn't work. But I didn't buy it because I got it from a. Was it?
Well, regardless, that could be the case, but
Yeah.
I don't really see how that makes a lot of sense of it doing that.
Because it's outdated.
Then just update it.
I don't know where I
gonna kill you.
updated stuff and I don't remember the name. So.
You open your computer, you look at the card, and see what the name
lazy,
is.
Okay.
Well, you're gonna have to do it, otherwise you're kind of just ruining your whole
I think it's X audio something.
wanting to
Anyway,
do stuff.
I know it's external D1 audio device. See, I found it. Yes, it's external.
Well, yeah, it would be in. Yeah, I guess just install that at some or update that at some point.
I think I've
Obviously
tried
not
out
now
with
because we're in the middle. So.
Yeah, I know.
Well, don't install it. Don't update it from Device Manager. Actually, look it up. Because most of the time, all Device Manager does is just check to see if it's actually enabled. That's most of the time what updating does. Just enables it.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually update your drivers or anything.
Yeah. So next topic, I think it's time for.
Oh, you wanna go for the newbie, or are we gonna go for something else?
That or we have. I don't know. We don't know so much about XP and UI.
You could just say XPN. I would understand what you're on about.
Yes, but I gonna take everything because people gonna confuse people a lot. Need to confuse people.
They don't even know our topic. They have no idea what XP and UI means.
Exactly.
They don't
That's gonna
understand
confuse some people.
They don't understand what XPN means either.
No, but that confused me a little bit, and then when I hear the everything, I'm like, what?
Oh my god. That's the point. They're supposed to be confused because they don't know what we're talking about.
That is point. That's why a little bit confused is not good enough. We can't let them be a little confused. We need to be.
Okay, forget it, everybody. We can't just make you a little bit confused. We have to make you extremely confused, which is a good thing that we're rambling on because now we probably made you majorly confused to the point you're like, why am I watching this?
Why am I
Why am I
here?
listening to these guys?
I'm gonna go watch something
What
else.
is
Click. A
Yes,
fast
good.
video.
Just click off. Wait, a what?
Yeah, go watch a cat video. I think that would make more
Okay.
sense than being though, ever.
Oh, okay. And we could talk about the EG. Sure, everyone could already put that together. Good.
EGS.
You could just say the.
Yeah, but
We could though.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, in general, I mean, I don't know.
You only know the pros, which is just what you're accustomed to.
I mean, there's always pros and cons to everything.
Yeah, but I'm saying you mostly only know the pros. This is the most like unplanned. It is somewhat planned because we have a topics list that we like make, but we don't really plan what we're gonna say in the podcast. We just roll with it. We're like, okay, which one of these we want to do at that point.
And he's dying.
Yes.
Wow.
No, I'm not dying. It's just my throat was actually starting to itch like quite a bit at that one point, and I just like kept talking.
I'm not the one
like,
dying
hold out.
in a video.
Get out now. Give it some time. I think the problem is because we're talking about serious topics instead of something that's gonna make us laugh like crazy, like we've been doing.
Basically, all the other stuff we've done, like when we roast
Right.
SAO every time we talk about that. We can do that
Yeah.
for almost the rest of this year. Sad. I mean, we're probably gonna talk about it
What do I know about the rest of the year? I'm pretty sure for
at least to
a couple, we could take a whole episode just to go for maybe 2 episodes.
I mean, we're probably gonna do like 1 week before the first episode of the new party starting. We're probably gonna, because we can probably have read up a little bit of what's gonna happen, or seen something, or gonna try to guess what's gonna happen in the future stuff.
We'll see.
But we're gonna wait on that because we still doesn't know. We barely doesn't understand what the fuck happened in the last episode. So
I'm pretty sure no one understands what the heck we're talking about right now.
no one knows. That's the thing about us. We're nerds. We're not meant to be understood.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's because the way you just worded a lot of that, it made it just no sense of what the hell you're talking about.
Dude, I don't ever know what we're talking about ever. What are we talking about?
I don't know, but to note what he was talking about was just SAO stuff, like the new season. We're just talking about, like, it split off for a second part, and
Yeah.
we're saying we may recap a tad, but no, we're not going to do an actual recap. But, we're going to mention a few things here and there that we may know more of at that point.
Yes. And try to guess what's gonna happen in the new season. Because we don't, or the new part, because we don't know anything about it. But yeah, I think we have
anyway,
we have the EIIC advice, also the newbie we added yesterday. It was 2 days ago.
you could have just said newbie.
Yeah, that's gonna come.
I don't understand I don't understand them wanting making all of these into, what is it? Acronym? Is that what you call that? Yeah. Making everything into an acronym.
Yeah, but otherwise people understand what we're talking about. We can't let people understand us.
I know, but I'm saying you don't need to make the whole thing that. Just make one little thing. The whole thing makes no sense.
But
whatever, we'll just talk about the new thing, okay? We'll just start here. So, the point of this new topic is something we randomly came up with, or I wouldn't really say come up with. It's probably been a question asked for a lot, but exploits. Is this considered cheating? is it considered cheating to use an exploit in a video game? Because if you think about it, in games for the longest time, there have always been little cheats or little things you could just do to break a game or to get like skip levels or whatever. Even back in Mario, there were exploits. So, yeah, the first Mario, I mean. Pretty sure there's even an exploit in Pong. Let's think about that, for example. So, in a way, would you consider that cheating or hacking or unlawful in a sense?
Yeah.
Because some companies do.
And other things like this is also like exploits in general, like always has existed in stuff. Like even like if you sometimes get a code from certain companies or stuff like that, it can work multiple times because it's like they have
Okay, now you're now that's just personally attacking.
no, in general, like it's a thing that happens. Like you said it yourself, you could do like exploit on GNOW before they remove.
You talk about that, and if they start listening to this, they could probably just kick me off of it.
I don't tell you the name. It's Charlie Chaplin.
They heard it. They know my name. It's the same one everywhere.
Yeah, that's why you don't use the same name everywhere except me, because I'm
Hey, I have some secret names on the internet. You don't know them. Anyway, to go back to the whole point of the topic with exploits, I mean, we'll say this for example, like saying YouTube rules. There actually is a YouTube rule, or I don't know if it's in a Twitch rule or anything like that, but there is like a rule stating that you cannot show video content of breaking a game, or it's like intentionally breaking a game or doing something like that. Like, what would that exactly mean? They're basically saying like, oh hey, I could do this like a little glitch. In that case, is that violating the rule? And to some people it is. Like, you can't show a game, like a video, doing a glitch. Why not? Why can't you do that? Makes no sense.
And we talked a little bit about it on the side when we come up with the idea, because I thought it was a fun thing to talk about in general. It's like, but also, it depends. Yeah. I said like this on the situation though. Is it a single player game? I think it should be. It doesn't matter if you break the game. The only one you cheat in that case is yourself if you break it in that way. If you see it as a cheating thing, I'm gonna tell you something fun that had happened to me actually when I was streaming. I was streaming Skyrim. They glitch a lot, so nothing new there. But I was gonna use Wold, the Whirlwind Sprint thing. I tell it was in the beginning of or in the end of the a fortress basically. I somehow glitched through the fortress thing and got to the door at the beginning. And I was like, what happened? And stuff like that. Is that cheating? Is that illegally played? Is that bad? Is that a bad thing to happen? Well,
I mean, again, it's really a gray area in a sense, which is stupid why it is one. It should be fine to me. I mean, I personally think exploits is not like a bad thing, depending on what that exploit is. Like, in a way, I don't know, because what is it? In some cases, there are different kind of exploits. Like, let's say an exploit of, for one example, it could be Minecraft, the duplication glitches, to where you can have one block of something and then it can create multiple blocks of that. So, you can have like maybe one piece of iron and it turns into like 70. Like, okay, there's your duplication glitch. Would that be counted as actually unlawfully breaking a game? Because a lot of people think it's like damaging an IP. Like, oh, it's showing our game is bad. You are berating our game. This is a attack against our property. You should be sued. Like, what? Makes no sense. And then you have exploits that are like GTA, where you could buy like a shark code or something, and you randomly get a lot more money than you were supposed to. In that case, I could probably get it because you're cheating someone out of their money that you should be paying. That kind of exploit kind of makes sense.
Yeah. But also, then talk about just GTA because online mode. I told you about it yesterday. Also, was that there sometimes when they do an update, they actually I don't know if they do it with purpose or not, but they add a money glitch that you can get money on the online mode by doing a thing. Okay, and there is where I think that is bad because that is cheating the whole game, cheating everyone on the game. If for people that doesn't know about it, you're cheating everyone. Like you have an expensive car that you can duplicate and sell for maybe 200-300k, and do that over and over, you're gonna be rich really fast. You cheat everyone in that game then, and it's that makes it unfair in my opinion. It had it been on single player mode, fine, that that is you. But online games, if you find an exploit, that is where I think it's like that is bad. If you can cheat the game to win.
It depends on the exploit like that you do online. Like if for me it's like basically exploit in the sense of a glitch. Like just a normal glitch that has no real hurtful deal. Like let's say out of boundaries type of deals. If you find that, I don't really see that being a bad thing. You just find that out. It's like, oh hey, that happens. But if it's something that's like actually cheating you out of money or like something
Making you like
that
if you hit a certain spot on a specific wall, you can shoot through it, and you can just shoot people through the wall. That's like stuff like that is like that is where
well, that's obviously cheating, but that's where the cheating thing comes into place. But that's not where the whole like unlawful type of deal comes into place, because that's just like,
yeah, but that's
well,
still
it's
an
kind
exploit
of
of the game
dev's
because you
fault.
choose something that exists in the game because they made an error. But again, that is where the bad side of the exploiting comes in, glitching and stuff like that. It's when you use it online mode that harms other players, getting more money, getting you can shoot certain stuff without
Right.
stuff like that. If you stand on a specific place, you can do this and stuff like that. Makes you maybe immortal because there's some sort of wall really there, but it is not visible. There's stuff like that. Who doesn't love invincible walls in games?
I mean, another thing in a sense, like, what is it? I mean, if you think about it, when it comes down to it, let's just say you buy a new game and you get into the game and there's like or say for example it's a single player game or something, and you just find a bunch of different like cheats and exploits and all this stuff like you can just do. It's like, well, in a sense, it's not really your fault. I mean, yeah, you figured it out, you do it, but in another sense, it's not exactly your fault. It's the dev's fault. But they just want to have a way to be like, oh, hey, you cheated us out of our thing. You basically broke the game in a sense. This is all you're doing, and go ahead, sue. But no,
That is
it's really the
what I think is so
devs they
good
need to
with Mojang.
mess with.
Mojang is so good because they know their games can get broken, and they actually uh, they literally had a panel last year about breaking Minecraft with the Venom, I think it's called. Yes, it's called. He was the only guy on that panel. That shows that they show that yes, games are meant to be broken. Also, it's not only meant to be played.
I mean, that's the thing. No game is without bug.
Yeah,
No game is without glitch. Like, no matter what, you're gonna find one. You just may never notice it, or you may never even think of it as one. I mean, it could be as simple as, oh, hey, the accuracy is just a tad bit off. That could be a bug. No one could ever notice it, but it's there.
yeah,
No game doesn't have one.
yeah. Someone says that there's games without bugs is wrong because every game has some sort of bugs. There's even games built up on making fun of stuff like that, like making it look like a glitch game.
Yeah.
What was
It's
that?
even funnier when games actually have like a bug or a glitch, and they're like, "Oh hey," and like the devs like, "Oh hey, this is actually kind of cool or kind of funny." So we'll actually make it a feature instead. Like those are the funny devs. Like they're just like, "Oh hey, like this is actually kind of cool. What it can do. Let's make that a feature."
Yeah, and that
It's
makes
funny because a lot of stuff back in the day was like that because they would like okay, we want this to happen. It's like, oh wow, that happened instead. You know what? Let's actually save that little uh, routine and just have that happen for something else. That'd be cool.
yeah, that is
That's
good
the way you do
stuff.
stuff.
Like game developers need to say it like this. Is it online mode? No, don't add too much that harms the game. Is it single player and it harms only the player itself for maybe cheating through? Don't care. That only harms the player in the end. But is it like a funny thing that like if you run at
I mean, you don't want.
like if it's
I
like a
mean,
funny thing, you run at a certain place at a certain time, it maybe launches you because that can be funny in certain ways. Because randomly you are flying and you're like, oh crap, I'm gonna die.
I mean, it really depends. It really depends. I mean, you don't want them to make a glitch that is completely harmful, even if just the person playing that, it's just that person playing it. You want it to actually be a fun one that's not going to have any bad result. Like, let's say, for your example, if they were to be launched and everything, you don't want them to just randomly land and die and either lose progress or say in a game that has like some type of currency, you don't want them to lose that
Yeah,
in a sense
but yeah,
just because they died.
but yes, somehow for like you get launched, maybe you get launched forward up, but because it's a glitch, it doesn't give you damage because
Well, not every glitch is like that. Not every glitch is nice.
yeah, talking about glitches, everyone that has played probably Skyrim should know about this glitch because I think it's still available actually if you are, because I don't think they fixed it, but if you are sometimes outside Whiterun, there is this mammoth you can sometimes say flying, and then it falls down and dies. It's like, congratulations, the first mammoth in space. Oh, he's dead now.
I mean, it can't be as bad as the glitch where the dragon comes in and just like kills one of the guards you're talking to. Like, oh, okay, well, bye. Guess I'm not doing that quest. It's like, okay,
Yeah, I hate
that one's supposed to
that
happen.
is stuff that also is a problem. You still want to get out and I can't open the door. Busy. Cat needs to learn to glitch through the door.
Get a pet door, like a little slide in your door for a pet.
Yeah, but yeah, that would actually be nice in my because then I don't ever need to open the door again.
No, but when it comes down to exploits, it's just like a random thing. It's really all subjective. You don't really, or wait, is that the right thing? Subjective.
Subjective
I
perspective, I
don't
would
remember.
say.
I don't.
Like it's a perspective
No.
because it's depends how
I
you
mean,
see it.
yeah, but that's the meaning. I'm saying like, hold on. I'm trying to think if that's the right word I'm using.
I can't open the door. I'm busy right now.
Yeah, subjective. So basically, it's just like it's a subjective topic. So it's just up to you whether you think it's like cheating or not. Because a lot of people do think it that way. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think it's like a unlawful in a sense. Because like I said, with YouTube, they have the rule of not to break games or it's just bad. Like don't show a video of you doing glitches. Like that's a bad thing apparently. Like well, it's not my fault. The devs suck or the devs made an error and we want to help them fix it. Because half the time that's what a glitch video is for. Is like, hey, there's these glitches here. Push it to the devs to show them, like, hey, here's some glitches you guys should try to fix.
Yeah, that's
And then
actually
go do that.
that is a thing. What I hate when they sit at when people try the game and when they beta test the game for at a dev station, like they are allowed to show it off, but they only allowed to record it, and but they have to cut out everything that is buggy. Don't do that. Show that this is what actually happened. This exists in a game before it's released. It's gonna be buggy beginning. I can talk about
It really depends because a lot of the times when a game they actually show the original like footage, sometimes it could be faked, but then there's other times when it's actually real and it's what they have. But then like mid developed session, it's just like they completely change up what they were gonna do, which introduces the new glitches, bugs, and everything.
yeah.
Because they do just a complete turnaround
I can talk
on
about
what they
a
were gonna do.
game that is just glitchy in general. and that's Ark Survival Evolved. It's been out for I think 1 or 2 years as a full game. It's been out for a full game about 1 to 2 years.
Hey,
Before that, it was in an
has
alpha
nothing.
state 3 to 4 years.
Hey, that has nothing on 7 Days to Die. That took forever just to get out of early access, but it's still in alpha.
Yes, okay, but
Still in
the
alpha
point
after all
here
these
is
years.
Ark is full released and it's still bugged. And every time they fix bugs,
Oh no.
it comes new, and you sit there like now this happens.
Even worse is Ark has like what 2 to 3 expansions now, like Scorched Earth and whatever that other one was.
Already in early alpha, I think, or mid
I know,
alpha.
but I'm just saying that in general that it's basically
yeah,
that it is an expansion. So they have expansions and everything. And if your game is getting expansions, make sure the base game is pretty patched. Like it can have some bugs and stuff,
yes.
but make sure you're good.
Like if you
Don't-
play
don't have
a
a buggy mess, then add
non-dedicated
more to
server
it.
like I do with my, because we can't afford to. I don't have 2 PlayStations. It's like, yeah, okay, I get you can't move too far from each other. Yes, fine, but sometimes you get. I think the latest one that I had as a bug that I think before the latest update was that if you ran sometimes onto a rock, you got stuck on it for a few, like a minute or so. That is like the worst stuff. At least when you're hunted by something.
Now the worst stuff is game breaking or soft locking. That is the worst when it comes to a glitch, and they just never fix
about
it.
that. Apparently, the new finisher in Smash for the Joker, soft locked the game.
Ow. Wait, what was the game on PS4 that was like soft locking everybody, or like crashing the PS4 itself?
I'm sure it's not Ark.
Like there was. No, it was. No, no, there was like this new game that came out for PS4 or something. I forgot what it was. Anthem, that's what it was. Like Anthem on PS4, people were trying to play it and it would completely crash their PS4. Sometimes it would soft lock it or it would brick it. Like it would actually just completely not work anymore because of Anthem. Just because of some little dumb update they had or some like little glitch in there, it would have destroyed everything.
Yeah.
All because they didn't test that before they went full wide. Like, hey, there's 2 things you gotta do when you're making a game. For one, try it on a development console, which is what they probably did only. Then you have try it on retail consoles before you actually throw it out there. Otherwise, you're not gonna get the full effect.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of different.
And when you do release a game, please release checks so everything is fine, no bugs or anything. So you don't.
Well, that's
become
gonna be
like
a little bit
Ark.
impossible because you do need.
Yeah, but it's like
it's
not like Ark.
Pretty.
That gets
Well, yeah, we
more
don't want
bugs
extreme glitches,
for
but
each update,
I'm saying in
and
general.
it gets fixed.
I mean, I'm just saying that when it comes down to it, most of the time these days, usually an update brings more bugs and glitches than it does fixes. So you can't have that.
Yeah, but Ark has been there for 2-3 years. And I think they
It's been more
released
than
it
2 to
on
3 years,
PlayStation
honestly.
before it was even released fully. It was in alpha state still when it was released on PlayStation.
Well, yeah, because it was a PC only thing for quite a while there, and then it went to consoles.
Yeah, but they didn't wait on to release it on PC first. They released it on PlayStation when it was still in alpha, and on phones before it was even released.
The phone thing wasn't even really a deal. It was more of like a fake. I'm pretty sure Arc isn't actually a thing on phone.
I don't know if they have done that. I think they were planning to do that, but I don't think they have implemented that yet.
I think it was like a possible plan, but it's just like it.
I think
was
they
not really a
they
deal.
are probably actually trying to fix the game.
It's more unofficial.
Stupid.
Trying. Keyboard trying.
Stupid. I don't remember wild card.
But
Not be able to fix their game.
All I gotta say is that when it comes down to it, you can't really fix every bug.
No.
Besides, game testers do cost a lot of money these days to actually hire.
I
So
would do it cheap. I don't mind playing games. If I get paid to play games, I'm fine.
that's the thing when it comes down to it, because when it comes down to actually being a game tester, it's not all about you just play through the game and find what you do as you go. Like, you don't just go through the game like, oh hey, okay, there's a graphical glitch over there, note that. Okay, there's a game breaking thing right there, gonna note that. You have to keep playing the same scene over and over again, maybe 20 times in one day, just to find bugs and glitches. Be like, okay, let me punch this rock. That work? No, okay. Let me just jump in this one spot for like 10 minutes. Nope, okay. Let me shoot this thing. You have to like test everything to make sure it works correctly.
Haven't you learned about one thing about me? I love break. So one thing I would do for
I
money
know,
is
but I'm
break
saying
game.
it would just take forever. I mean, hey, if you want to, go sign up. I'm pretty sure it does not take a degree. I mean, I'm pretty sure it does these days. Like, oh, you need a bachelor's or an
You need to
associate.
be
Like,
able to
why?
understand 1 plus 1. Like, why? So you can play math game, but I don't play math games.
Then get out of here.
Like, get out of here. Like, you didn't make
I'm pretty sure they at least want you to have a basic understanding of programming so you can get on their line, or a basic understanding of game
that I can
development,
get, but
so you understand.
I wanna I don't need a understanding of programming to understand how to break a game. Jesus Christ,
I
I
know,
have
but it's
broken
just like in a
every.
sense, like you want them to like word it correctly. You want it to like understand why is it this is happening. So in a sense, you could help them out more rather than just, hey, this is happening, and then they have to search for that sector for like 5 minutes or 50 minutes or whatever.
I mean, it's
So you
probably
at least have to have some kind of thing to help.
yeah. I mean,
Depends, really.
yeah, that's the only issue. Yeah, I can still not let you out yet. You have to wait like at least an hour more. Sorry, cat. Unless you want to join the podcast and take over for 10 minutes.
Yeah, instead of hearing a Swedish accent, all you're gonna be hearing is just like constantly. Like, okay, like this. You know what? We're gonna have a better conversation here. Like, screw these topics. We'll just talk about cat stuff. But nah.
What was your favorite cat?
Oh,
Good.
yeah, that's very interesting. I don't know, but yeah. Like I said, when it comes down to it, it just I don't know. I don't really get why people think exploits are entirely a bad thing unless it's definitely an online exploit that cheats you out of money. In that case, yeah, that's bad. But then there's other stuff like, what's the point? Like, say, another one, actually, that I just thought of. The 3DS. Like,
Yes.
or like a Nintendo console. Like, oh, there's an exploit to get into homebrew stuff. Like, in a way, I don't entirely understand the problem with that. In another way, I do. One way is if you're doing, like, say, for just to get access to homebrew, that's kind of a good thing because then you can actually test your developed software on the console itself without having to worry. Like, you don't have to worry about I don't know, publishing it to the store to figure that out beforehand. You're like, oh hey, got the actual hardware here, try it out. That's a good way to go. Or you're just like, hey, play homebrew games. Like, homebrew games doesn't hurt anybody, never gonna hurt anyone. But it's like, no, that breaks our system. That's illegal. Da, da, da. Like, to whom? I guess this is Japan law, so it works here.
Yeah,
And then
wasn't it a law on the Nintendo side that in Japan that they could actually arrest you for it, put you in prison for 2 years if you shaded the Switch in some way?
it depends. Like I said, when it comes to that, there's that bit. But then there's the other side of it, which I sort of understand, is like the custom firmware
Yeah, that
part
is
of
where
it. Because
that is where going into exploiting and stuff again. That is where it's not okay. Like if you're gonna break
it
something,
depends on what
don't
you're doing
do
with
it.
it.
Do it on a dead console like GameCube or the Wii because they don't support online mode. If I'm correct, I don't know if the Wii U.
Well,
does.
these days, the 3DS mostly is kind of dead. But I'm saying that when it comes down to it, the custom firmware side, it really depends on what you're doing
the
with
fuck
it.
was that?
But there's
Beep?
some things I can...
I heard a peep. I heard something.
I don't know. But when it comes down to it, I just feel like that custom firmware type of stuff, it depends on what you're using it for, because in some cases you can actually use it to install pirated games to the 3DS console, which in that case, yeah, that's not the best of ideas. It's probably not something you should be doing. I mean, if you want to, fine, go on ahead. Who am I to stop you? But just, yeah, probably not the best of ideas.
Okay. You talked earlier about Streamlabs or OBS updating.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got a host. Thank you, IMF PFTV for the host. That made a sound, and I was like, "What the fuck is sounding?"
Nice. I haven't got any notifications, which I don't think I have the alert box set up on the podcast.
I forgot about the host in this game because I'm so unused to stream on PC. But thank you for the host. Yeah. I was so.
I actually need to put that on screen for whenever we get stuff, or whenever
I should have that, but I think my screen is blocking it. I'm not the bad streamer. You're a bad streamer.
Well, I'm just saying in my podcast scene, I don't actually have the alert box set up, so I'll probably still hear it, but I'm not gonna actually see it.
Yeah, I don't have it on this one. I should have it on other stuff when I stream, but I don't. I need to put it under this tablet, but I need to think, but yeah. But yeah, I'm not going crazy.
Sure.
That's good.
Here's something that I just want to... I'm going to go ahead and shift off into another topic because I really want to talk about this because I had a real... the part of today, that part of today, oh god. I kind of talked a little bit... Well, okay, it wasn't really much... It was one of the reasons why I was also mad during the time when I sent you the conversation I had earlier with the toxic person.
Oh,
we won't talk about that because that was just...
Could you do me a short run on what happened? Basically... I did read a little bit.
We don't need to. Well, there's no really need to talk about that. That was just somebody being stupid. But when it comes down to it,
I mean,
the real thing that I want to go with the topic is the YouTube side of things. That's one of the things that was getting me mad. It had nothing to do with the toxic person, but that was just I was also mad from that. So it was one of the reasons why I was also kind of mad at the toxic, but. To start with YouTube lately, yes, I know I'm streaming to it. I know I'm also streaming to Twitch. I know I also sometimes do videos there on YouTube.
Wait, you do?
I say sometimes because this is why I said sometimes because the reason why it gets more and more sporadic that I don't really feel inclined to. It's not much entirely because I don't have a user base. That's one reason, but another reason is mainly because it's just YouTube has been really getting annoying lately, or just why does anyone want to be there now? It's getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
Every time. It's not really about the whole adpocalypse thing or getting demonetized all over the place.
Christ!
It's not about potatoes.
It's not about potatoes. Thank you for the follow whoever followed me.
We should really... You should probably mute those whenever we do the podcast. And just acknowledge them on the side.
Potato!
Just potato!
Thank you!
Just the best time. Twitch perfect timed clips. Enter now.
I have even a one when I get followed also when I play League where it comes in also randomly and I'm like, holy freak! Okay,
there's that bit, but and thanks for completely derailing my rant.
YouTube,
but anyway.
I mean, how much have we not ranted on YouTube?
I know, I've done it much, but when it comes down to it, it's just with YouTube, I don't know what's even going on lately. Because, for one, they're just randomly claiming, they're just doing copyright claims on basically anyone for stupid stuff. I mean, it could be for saying people who do reaction content or something. And they can have the absolute... they could absolutely have the permission of the person who created it. They're perfectly fine with it. And... I don't know, it's just randomly you'll get a claim be oh, it's reused content, so it's been deleted or whatever, or it's been taken down. Why? Why would that be? Because you think about it, there's a bunch of other people doing the exact same thing. Why aren't they getting in trouble when there's these select few people who are? It's the same bit. They're doing the same thing.
Yeah, but it's always been like that. They have a. It's not YouTube themselves, but they have the broken. The claim.
And there's even more than that is the thing, because there's even false claims. Like they could randomly claim like, oh hey, this song was used. Not even close. The song doesn't even sound the same. And then there's times where it's like, oh, this part is a copyrighted song. We're gonna claim it. And it's like, that was me talking. I was just talking. Maybe I said similar lyrics, but I was talking. No way did that sound like a song. So why are you claiming me?
Starts to break down for the 5 years. That starts.
And then it's even.
Strips down.
I know, and then it's even worse. It's even worse when you try to appeal that stuff and YouTube just ignores you. Just like, okay, why are you trying to appeal to us? Like, that's part of your system. We try to appeal the claim because it's not reasonable and it's not an actual claim. It's fake. It's stupid. It's just a bot just throwing things out there. And YouTube is just off in the wind like not getting all these messages. They're just like it's like a freaking meme of someone with a laptop with like tons of notifications popping up, and they're just sitting there on their phone playing freaking Candy Crush or Angry Birds or something, or freaking Clash of Clans or whatever the hell people play on their phones these days. Like seriously, they're not paying attention. They're not paying attention to us. And then you got freaking other people like. There was something I was reading earlier today. I won't mention any names, but it was of someone who was like going through, like getting slandered by another person, and that person was like slandering tons of different YouTube channels and being extremely toxic, and all this other stuff. And at that point, it's just like they're trying to get YouTube to listen and like ban this person or do something about this person because they're being very harmful to other channels, and YouTube's just not paying attention. Makes you really not want to be a part of the YouTube creator system when they don't really care about the creators at all. They say they do, but what have they done to show it? Oh hey, we got this new feature. Oh hey, we limited to where you need more stuff in order to be monetized. Like, that doesn't matter. Someone could be having like 3 subscribers and still ruin a channel because they could still slander you.
Yeah, but that's the issue though. Okay, I get the system, but you have to have a certain amount of subscribers or stuff like that. Yes, fine, that works fine because that limits makes it like less people with toxic intentions may not grow as fast as they could on it the same way anymore.
I can understand having 1,000 subs in a sense, but the whole 40,000 hours watched in the last year, like, why that high? That seems like a little bit too high. That's making it seem like you have to upload almost every day or a few videos per week and actually have somewhat of an audience in order to actually become monetized. Otherwise, it's like, why is that a thing? You already have the 1,000 subs. I'm pretty sure at 1,000 subs, you're gonna have somewhere around there. You could at least just be like, hey, be active. Like, okay, I get that. I'll be active. Or try to be.
Yeah.
I'm not at all active. Don't think this is about me.
the first one, the paid department is Nexus because it's like inactive for 4 months. They are like, are you gonna upload
Right.
or do we have to take away the partner? I'm working on it. Okay?
A lot of the stuff I'm like affiliated with or partnered with, I'm surprised they haven't dropped me yet because I'm not that active. I'm very surprised they haven't dropped me. They probably should. There's probably way better people out there, but I'm still a part of it apparently. So like, okay, all right, if you say so.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll try to do more. I try.
Yeah, I mean, I had
a door to my room. I do this way more often.
Yeah, and it's not only that. It's not an issue. That's the drive to do it is also one thing because that is
like the drive and the burnout. It's just like it's really hard at times. And like half the time, it's just like just don't want to do it.
Okay, so doing Twitch, that's fine for me because like that stuff is like doing Twitch is like if you have those free viewers, you have a more chance, in my opinion, to actually earn stuff on Twitch. And they don't have that.
Well, that's the point.
Regulation the same way YouTube has today. And that's why I think...
You literally just mentioned the point of Twitch affiliate status, is that to have 3 viewers per
average for a month. But that's the thing. That's a good thing in a way, because that means that not everyone can get it. And it's not going too fast. But partnership is higher.
It basically
but
gives
the
you
thing
a
is,
purpose.
at least with Twitch, people aren't as censored. Yes, you can't be. I think racial stuff and stuff like that. Fine, that should not exist
That makes
on
sense.
anything. YouTube or Twitch. No, that's a thing you should not go. Politics, that can work.
It is
unless
insanely on YouTube,
YouTube.
by the way.
YouTube is worse. That you can't not even do politics on there. Politics, I'm fine with if you talk about, as long as you keep it to a reasonable level that it's not like slandering or attacking other parties in political.
I'll say when it comes down to politics, like when it comes down to it, just as long as it's fair, open-minded, and I guess when you talk about it, just, I don't know, just be good about it. I don't really know what else to say. When it comes down to it, just as long as you're okay with it, talking about it.
Yeah, and
Don't just like go running into a chat where someone's like talking about a game and be like, so that election, like, I don't care. I'm not here for that.
yeah, or about like, or that I talked about today. Well, actually, a few days ago, I talked about it. I got attacked today about it because apparently you're not allowed to have opinions. 2019, you're not allowed to have opinions. I'm sorry. It's still on.
Opinions? What are those? You can't have those on the internet. You sold your soul as soon as you got that internet plan. You can't have opinions.
Seriously though, I hate people that's like, oh, I don't like this game. Wow, I'm gonna hate you forever, and I'm gonna trash you and tell you why this game is amazing. But the flaws, it doesn't have, like, yes it does, I promise you, it does.
See, that's the thing. I will not trash a person on their opinion. I will trash a person if they're wrong. And there's nothing wrong about hating a game, movie, or whatever. If you hate it, that's you, man. Or whatever. Just like, basically, you can hate whatever you want. I don't care. Go ahead. You can hate or like whatever you want. I'm fine with that.
Like,
But if you randomly go on and say that, oh, these developers are doing a terrible job, they're not doing anything good, like, that is completely wrong.
Unless
because they're doing
Bethesda,
very
then
good.
they are doing wrong. But that's Bethesda.
Yeah, that's Bethesda. Fucking Bethesda.
Oh, and EA.
Everyone knows what that quote is.
EA. We don't talk about EA.
Yeah.
We
don't talk about those guys.
But like those.
That's a banned term.
Like,
we talked about it earlier.
Put it in the banned words list on Twitch. EA.
Put it away. Yeah, but I don't know. When it comes down to it, like I said, I mean, it's just that when someone is like saying something like that, or saying like I don't know, some like saying,
or do it.
I'll explain a little bit. I'll explain a little bit of when I was talking about the toxic thing earlier. That toxic person I was like arguing with.
Yeah.
The reason why I got on their case is because they were trying to say like, oh, the development for this is too slow. Like this, you announced this a month ago. Why isn't it out yet? And I'm like, because it takes time. And it was about MCC coming to PC. It was like, you know, Halo MCC on Xbox coming to PC.
Yeah.
They're saying like it doesn't take that long to port a game, and I'm like, actually it does. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. There's a lot of stuff that actually you gotta do. You have to like rework the system. It's not just going into this like configuration settings and changing platform and boom, you're done. There's a lot of stuff to change. Sometimes they have to remake it from scratch. And then when it comes down to it, the person just randomly is like, oh, you didn't read all the rest of the replies? Like, this has already been covered. Like, are you stupid? Are you dumbass? I'm like, really? You're just gonna start cussing me out all because I tried to explain stuff? Even if I wasn't trying to explain it to him, I could explain it to anyone else who is on that same side. And then I just get that instead of immediately calling me out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to just do that.
You're not allowed.
And then
you're on the internet. You're not allowed to have opinion. Haven't you learned anything?
it wasn't even an opinion. It was a fact. I was trying to state a fact about what was going on. That was that. And apparently, I can't state facts on the internet either,
Nope.
because apparently I'm wrong, even though it's actually true. It's completely true, and it can be proven. But no, apparently I'm wrong.
Yes. Because it's the
And then the person comes out randomly and says like, "Oh, I already played that garbage piece of crap game in the stupid console. I don't even care about it." They're like, "Then why are you here? Why are you here talking about it and hating on Microsoft for not releasing it if you don't even care about it?" That's what I hate about those kind of people. They're always like, "Oh, it's like, why won't you just do this?" Like, "Oh, I freaking hate the thing anyway." Like, then why are you here? What? Why are you even talking about this? If you don't have anything nice to say and you don't even do anything about it, then leave. Nobody will miss you. Go to some other community where you actually give a crap, because we don't.
Yeah.
We don't care about you not caring.
Yeah.
Go care about a game elsewhere, and then we'll talk about it.
Like, yeah, and I get it. Yes, you don't like a game. You're fine doing that, but that is okay. But when you start trash talking in a way because you don't like it and you tell everything is bad about the game, that's never true. Because
yeah, because that's basically what he was trying to do at the same time. Like, he was trying to trash talk the people playing it and saying that they're stupid because they played that. Like, no. Like, why are you trying to trash talk people for liking some that you don't? You don't like it? Fine, go away. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to be a part of this. If someone simply asks if you like it, you say, "No, I don't like it. I thought it was stupid." Like, okay, cool, that's fine. We'll talk about something else. But
and like
no.
like I said, I thought certain one anime specifically and one game was overhyped. Apparently, saying something is overhyped and by the fan base. And what people don't understand is the fan base is the most important part of a game. Any game and game series is the fan base.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And if someone says, but the fan doesn't make the game. No, it's the developers, but still the fans makes the importance of a game. Like like me, I love SAO, the games and the anime, and this far I have only problem rating Model Rosario, but that's because I'm lazy. But yeah,
When it comes down to it,
don't hate.
yeah, even SEO in a sense is kind of overhyped. Even that show is overhyped, but I kind of like it.
The more people I talk with is people hate it. Like, why? Okay, the story is not the greatest because
there's many reasons why people hate it. But
I mean, I get.
I mean, there's many reasons why people hate it,
Kirito,
and then there's a lot of other people who think like it's freaking godsend. And there's other shows people think is godsend, and it's like, bleh, whatever.
Dragon Ball Z. There you have a
I mean, your opinion. See, that's another thing I also hate. When people randomly are just like, if you say like, meh, your opinion, like, "Oh, you stupid liberal, you must be liberal." I'm like, I'm nothing. I am nothing in regards to politics and that crap. All I'm saying is, you have an opinion. That's good. Have an opinion about what you're going off. Don't just agree to everything everybody else says. Don't just disagree to everything everyone says. Think for yourself of what you like and what you hate.
Oh, I don't like this
don't
anime.
Just go off.
Apparently, you are a liberal because you don't like a specific anime.
Well, it's not that. It was just the point that when you say those words, when you say, "Well, that's your opinion," people get all hateful about it. Like, what's so problem about saying that? It's your opinion. It's you don't like it. Okay, cool. That's fine. That's your opinion, and that's probably a bunch of other people's opinion too.
People want to just fight in today's society.
They just hate that word. They hate the word opinion. It's like it's a demeaning word. Like, as if I say you have an opinion, it means you're a terrible person. Like, no. We all have opinions.
Yeah, and that's also stuff like I don't mind if you don't like something I don't like. Fine. That's always gonna exist.
I mean, hey, me and you have already talked about stuff that, like, I like and you don't, and you like and I don't. Like, for example, you just said it before. I like Dragon Ball in a way. You don't like it. That's cool. You like Final Fantasy. I'm not really that big a fan of it. It's not really my thing. Yeah. So, there we go. We're fine with each other. So what?
Yeah. I mean, we have to kill each other now because we
Right. Just battle to the death. Freaking in the Coliseum, just freaking jousting all because of it.
I will have an invasion of that.
I decree these two must fight to the death because they have differing opinions. Like, okay.
That's internet today. Like, if you disagree with someone, you have to fight them to death, apparently, because that's not the way to decide with
What's funny though is that this is the kind of stuff like I'm just like realizing it as we're talking about it, but this is the kind of stuff that I like to be more on this podcast. I know we have like those little off track where we talk about like, new stuff, but I like it better when it's just like our opinions just like flowing out like crazy and it's like ranting about something and getting actually into it, because then it's when the content gets good.
Yeah, that's when we start trash talking.
Then it gets
stuff.
fun. Right. We start trash talking and the show gets good.
But we talk seriously. Yes, this thing and this thing. Okay.
No, change channel.
I'm going back to that those
close
cat videos again.
It's like, back to some more watching somebody get into a circle. Oh look, circle's closing again! Yay! Like, who cares? So that's another thing. There's one of my other opinions. I don't like BR games. Don't at me.
Yeah, don't at me.
Or at me.
How dare you?
Fight me, bro.
Dislike Battle Royale.
Whoop, wanna fight about it? I don't know.
I mean, Apex is good, but that's like the only good VR this far.
Blackout isn't so bad. It's alright. It's the main problem with it mostly is just with every online game is just some toxic players. That's it.
Wait,
but otherwise
it's
online.
It's fine. Wow.
What is this?
I mean, it's not.
What is this witchcraft?
I mean, League is also toxic.
Do I hear treason? What is this bots for me? No, but seriously though, it's just I don't know, cause
I think
we started this with a whole me just ranting on YouTube, but then it goes off to us just ranting about everything else. But that's how it works.
Yes, we're gonna keep topics, but I think the best thing about us is that we don't really follow the topic to 100% anyways.
Yeah, we just like go off on a tangent, and that's one thing that a lot of people don't like in some podcasts, but me, I find it the best.
Yeah,
it's when someone goes on a tangent because it shows they care about it.
Yeah.
It's just like they care about something, so they keep talking about it.
That is the thing about us. We are not like we're not like those one line linear people that when we do podcast. We can't do that. We both have that in the brain way that we can't talk about same thing too much. We need to branch off to talk about side stuff about the things.
I mean, that's the thing when that's even something I even have on the top of our podcast topics. It says these are ideas, none of which have to be done. But literally, we don't even have to talk about a single thing that's on that list. It's just something that has come up that I figure we should probably talk about in some way. Yeah. But in other cases, it's just that we could say like maybe 5 words about it and then boom, go off into another like topic, just because it's just how we are.
Yeah, and basically we did go from basically Star Wars to what's it? Which one was it? Then cloud
like
gaming.
Star Wars into like
cloud gaming, and then we did go
Star Wars, cloud gaming,
exploits,
and the exploits, which I haven't taken off the list yet.
Yeah, and
then we went on to the YouTube
from
thing.
exploit directly to YouTube without transition. That was one of the final parts.
Yeah.
Because we were on a rant on like bad stuff.
We're already on a rant on some stuff, and then immediately I'm like, okay, I just gotta talk about this because it just like popped back in my mind how much it's annoying me.
Yeah, and
because like I don't know.
We are pretty much off that topic about ranting on YouTube only because we read about in general on people complaining about stuff. It's fine.
I mean, I can go back to YouTube in any way and talk bad about it, which I probably am about to do.
Wait, we're talking bad about YouTube? How dare you? We are professionals.
How dare we talk about the people in which we post content on?
That we totally doesn't have. That has totally nothing to do with us anyways. Any shape, way, or form.
That's another thing I don't, that in a way that kind of makes better sense. Like, if you think about it with, like, the top YouTubers in a sense, I like it a lot better with the ones that aren't freaking blind followers. Like, there's those that are like, oh, YouTube's a great platform. It's, like, so great. I'm glad to be upon it. Like, the only way I could see you saying that is because of your fan base. Sometimes, like, some people actually have really good communities. Like, it's really nice.
Yeah,
but then it comes down to, like, that's fine.
I name dropping because I like name dropping specific, but yeah, except the guy, and I would say PewDiePie. Those two are like they don't follow YouTube blindly, but and they know YouTube isn't the best, but it's not the worst either because of all sides.
I don't know if you would call Felix's
Felix is
stuff
like
Felix's community as a as a good community.
It's good in the way because yes, they have the toxicity, but in the end, they are a caring community, like the same way. But they have that. If you think about it this way, Felix, in the way he is, that is how we see their community. But the community is like being shown that way because he is that. But they, when it comes down to it, they defend the truth instead of listening to everything everyone else says, proving that yet everyone is like, yes, this is not true.
It kind of reminds me of the Vic stuff, honestly.
Even those that doesn't follow him. I'm going into basically Jacksepticeye's community. The moment when Wall Street starts attacking PewDiePie, like Jacksepticeye, I think even Markiplier and stuff like that, their community also works into it. Like he's not wrong. He has not done anything wrong.
That's because they have a conjoining community in a sense, because they've all collaborated in the past on various things. So in a sense, like their communities are kind of like
that makes
brother and sister communities.
So great because they defend each other and they know that we have seen everything. We know what's true. Yes, but the thing is, if you take stuff out of context, you're gonna get screwed. And
there is that, but at the same time, you also have to think that the content doesn't make the creator, because even if they make like certain content, they do these certain things, it doesn't mean you actually know how they fully are. But in a sense, most of the time you can actually see it, because for example, the people that we mentioned so far, they've done some pretty good things, charity work and all that stuff. So yeah, they are definitely good people who
we can't point that
make
out.
The mistakes.
We can't point that out. Sadly, if it's good things, we can't point it out because it not Oh my god, it did a good thing.
It's not right.
Delete.
It did a good thing. What are you talking about?
He did charity work. Nah.
For saying these words, I must freaking what was this? I must torture myself with Bean Boozled jelly beans. No, seriously, I do have those. I need to actually make a challenge with these someday.
Yeah, and
I have until 2020 until these go bad, I think.
Yeah, that's basically how long it's gonna take for you to actually do a challenge. Cough, cough.
I think so.
When has already maybe gone out? I don't know. I have also been, by the way.
Yeah, 2020. I have until then, November 2020, until those go bad. So I don't think it's something to do with those. But anyway, to go back to the other topic of what I was trying mainly to go into is that I do like the fact that a lot of the top creators are definitely not like full-blown loyal to like YouTube as itself, because they all know it has their problems, that YouTube itself has pretty bad problems. And it's pretty bad that those top YouTubers don't even get support. Not even the ones that haven't really done anything bad, like you've already name dropped Markiplier, but I'm just saying in general, like with him, for example, he hasn't really done anything bad channel-wise or something that people would like put a conspiracy towards. The only real conspiracy he had was the cocaine thing, which was completely wrong. But the point is, there was that, and they don't even really talk with him that much.
Septiceye, same thing. He has
everybody has. Every top YouTuber has a conspiracy against them that they do some kind of drug.
But the worst thing is, I love how I'm still gonna call him number one because he is number one, because FT series. But seriously, Felix is the number one YouTuber, and YouTube doesn't give a F about him because he is the way he is. And that makes it even more funny because he just trash YouTube back, because they show that it's not too much care about their own creators in no way, shape or form. Sometimes when they are big, because they are their own mind. Are you following YouTube rules and everything by standard 100%? Fine, you're gonna get hell unless you F up a lot. Not mentioning a name this time.
I don't know,
but
like I said, when it comes down to it, even people like that, like I said, even when it comes to like people like, again, like so I was saying, Markiplier, even someone like him, no, YouTube doesn't really actually contact him that much. You think like they're on like a friendly basis where they talk to each other about certain things going on, because they're like, he's a very top creator that should actually get some access with. But no, YouTube just doesn't really talk with those people that much, and they definitely don't talk to any of the lower ones. So we don't get anything. No one wins on YouTube.
But that's because, like we said, they are open-minded. They don't care about what YouTube said. They do what they want. They have always done that, and
Yeah.
they've always followed the rules that is more like those guidelines that is like actual good guidelines. Like, oh, you can swear in a video. Yeah, I don't really care. I do what I want. Swearing is not
Yeah,
bad.
that's how the demonetization thing came the first time. Like, oh, hey, I said hell. Boom, yellow. Like, what is that little yellow dot next to you?
Like, no, that's just censoring shit. That is not good. That's gonna make people hate you.
Literally, it's a good alliteration, but freaking senseless censorship. Like, seriously. Well, it's not really alliteration. That's S and C, but whatever.
Like, when PewDiePie played PUBG and said the special word that we should not mention because it's a bad word. Yes, but that should be demonetized because it's a racial slur. It's not okay. That is.
There are other stuff that I'm just like, there's some things that I understand obviously should because it's just wrong. Then there's other things that I'm like, it didn't used to be bad, but then it's like now it really is bad, which could have just been like a year ago thing or a couple year ago thing. And it's like, that's just kind of weird. But then you think about it, in a sense, a lot of the stuff that is really bad to say now was really acceptable back in the day. So it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
And also, then you have.
By that, I mean stuff that we used to say as like a kid, and I'm not going to say the words, obviously, because they're still slurs. But, the ones, I'll just say this. One starts with an R, one starts with an F.
Ford.
Another one starts with a G. So, for those words, you could probably get in your head what they are. But, in a way, maybe a few years ago, those were perfectly fine to say. There was nothing wrong with them. But then, it came more into society that people were getting more offended by it. And now it's basically a taboo stuff to do. So I'm like, well, okay. Don't entirely get it, but it's a thing.
I mean,
we get used to it.
Wait, G. Oh, you mean that? To me, like 5 seconds.
Yeah, R, F, and G. You can get.
If I can get because there can be like a lot, like Fork, Word, Fiesta.
Do I need to send you it on Discord? Fine, let me just send you the words on Discord. Screw this.
Or I can get it myself, but I had to do. I get it. I'm not dumb. Am I dumb? Is it the F-bomb?
The first thing I can somewhat get. The first one I can absolutely get, in a sense. The other two.
The G is probably the thing I am. Probably. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you're not allowed to say cigarette?
Apparently not. No, that's actually wrong.
So you know
but I'm saying like
that was the best thing I saw in. I think it was last year on when Septiceye again.
Ooh, that's another topic.
Yeah, but Septiceye made the Irish video about, and he was like, but that's not the word we use in Ireland. On a cigarette. I was like, and he was like, yeah, but they can't put that word because.
I knew it was like the UK word, and I'm gonna say UK word because it's not just British, it's also Irish and everything else. It's just basically around in the UK area they basically say it.
Yeah, that
for a cig.
The UK
or for a bundle of sticks, either way.
But like, that's an issue. That is also an issue because if you go back, I'm gonna use the G word because I don't mind it because I
mean, you literally are, so why not go ahead and say it? It's not gonna harm.
Yes, it's gonna because it's YouTube. Oh my god.
Well,
a gay man said
it's how you say it.
A gay man said
right?
Yeah.
But it literally depends on how you say it. Because if you're saying it like, someone who is, then it's fine. But if you say it like in the way it used to be said, where you're trying to make it sound like, you say that to say that something's stupid. Or something's unfair, or you just don't like it.
Yeah, that doesn't work anymore. I'm sorry, that has no...
Like, that doesn't work anymore.
This has no effect.
You can't say that anymore. But I'm like,
I mean, but...
Then it used to also mean that people were happy.
Yeah.
It used to also mean that people were happy, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's not a
I
thing
love
anymore.
how Family Guy made that joke though, gay, when it was like, gay in Australia means happy. In Australia. Comes to England or United States. Oh, you're gay. Yes, I'm happy. That's so funny about old words that is like switch around. Like Crocodile Dundee makes the joke. Family Guy makes the joke about the word gay because it's so dumb. You cannot
Right.
offend people anymore because of those stuff because it's a word that has multiple meanings. Oh, I'm really gay today. Like, yes, you're happy. That's a thing. I don't think you
I
gotta.
think really they don't use that definition anymore because it's confusing.
Yeah.
Because more and more people are actually openly gay, so
Yes.
it's just like, so in a way it's more confusing to say that you're openly happy or you're openly into the same sex as you are. So it's like, okay,
Is he gay or is he gay?
it's a little confusing. Like, which is it, buddy? Like, so it's confusing. So they just keep with that. But to go the other bit, it just reminded me of a new topic that just came out that I didn't put on the thing, but I will mention. So what was it? It was you were mentioning it before. What was it? What's the guy who just got in Smash?
Joker.
Joker. Yeah, there was a like song or something or
Oh,
some
yeah.
or piece of dialogue that he said, and people thought like this was in a Kotaku
Article.
thing
Kotaku?
article. Yeah, there we go.
Give it
Kotaku
that
article.
up,
And
Kotaku,
by the way,
Kotaku again.
never trust Kotaku.
Like, unless you have base facts more than Kotaku, don't trust them.
Yeah, just don't trust them because they're not really the best article situation. They're mainly just for
think it's
clickbait.
Kotaku and
There's a
Polygon
whole
is the two like
conspiracy.
side stuff that you should not trust when it comes to news, because they like.
It's like the toxic side of news. Just don't go there. It's the dark side. Don't go to Kotaku.
Welcome to the dark.
Stay with the light. Stay with Game Rant and GameSpot and don't actually go to Game Rant. But anyway, or
Join the
GameSpot
dark
be a little
side.
clickbaity, but
We have cookies.
no. These days, no, they don't. They have lies.
But we have
But-
cookies too.
As I said, to go back to the point, I am gonna say the slur because it's to tell you what it is that they thought it said, but obviously I don't mean any harm in it. But it's the fact that they thought that the dialogue had Joker say retarded.
Demonetized.
Not the case. Not the right. Not the case. Not at all the case of what he said. He actually said retarget. That was the word he said. It's just that no one actually was. Here's the thing. They posted that right around as they got the idea that he was saying it. Like they just randomly posted like, oh, he's saying this. He's doing a disability or a slur for disabled people. Like, no. And even the developer came out later and said, no, they're actually saying retarget. Like they actually clear up the audio. And it's like it says retarget. That's what it says.
Hey,
How can you just get that?
because they want to trash something.
Yeah, it sounds somewhat similar, but at the same time, it's like you gotta listen clear.
Wait, listen. What is this? Do you think we have to listen to stuff now also? Gee.
Who has ears on the internet? We don't have ears. That doesn't exist here. We don't have a frontal lobe. Who has frontal lobes on the internet?
Do you mean
We
it's
just we work on
also?
impulse. The
Gee.
first thought that comes in our mind, we post.
Oh, he said that word. Okay, we're gonna post it and say it's bad. He just said.
By the way, I probably just offended a ton of people for saying that, but hey, it's actually how it works.
Yeah, I can't
It's the
let you
first
out,
thing
you
people
dumb
think of. They post
cat.
it.
Pika Pika.
Have you taught your cat to speak Pikachu?
No.
Oh man.
Could you
But
do
anyway,
like our other cats could and open? I'm not kidding. We lived on the sometime it could open the outdoor when we lived on the countryside by themselves.
Wow.
It jumped up and just slapped the door.
But to continue what I was going on about, I guess I'll mention a bit of the conspiracy thing. Is like the author who wrote it, which everyone's trashing, later was trying to apparently they said they were trying to
Listen,
redeem themselves in a sense, and
I've
trying
seen
to
the tweets.
say like, yeah, just like say like, oh, you know, it was the boss telling me to do all this, like saying like as soon as like just making me do all that. Tried to say like, you know, it's just something that I had to post, so it wasn't really my thing, and then like, oh, my boss made me delete it. Which some cases, if this was the first offense of that, I'd perfectly understand that. Like I can understand there are really some terrible people who are bosses and managers in these situations that just make the employee do it and threaten them their job. Like you don't do it, you don't get a job, you're out. And it's just like it's terrible because like, oh, it's the only job you got, there's nothing else you can do. Especially if you're working for Kotaku, you're not gonna work for anyone else after this. Like you already ruined your life. But then of course it's with a person who has constantly wrote some bad articles, even if it was to the boss's like only thing. I don't know. It's a conspiracy thing right now. No one knows
No one
like how it
knows
actually is
the
going.
truth.
I mean, you can believe it, you can believe her, you don't have to believe
Was
her.
it
It's whatever.
Kotaku?
But
Talk about
it's
Kotaku
Kotaku.
in general. Was it those that complained about Sekiro being too hard also?
I think they were the first one to go forward with that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
and complained that they need an easy mode. Like, are you serious? It's like one of those games that are not meant to be easy. If you want an
Oh,
easy
speaking
game,
of,
go play Tetris. It's fucking easy compared to that. But if you want to
I mean,
complain that
Tetris
it's
is a
hard,
little hard, but it is easier.
yeah. But like,
That's the thing. Sekiro is basically on the Dark Souls type of deal.
yeah,
It's basically those type of games.
yeah. And then stop it. It's like it's meant to be hard. It's one of those games that is meant to
Yeah.
be. It's not meant to be too easy. I mean, I get it if you want it to be. If they do it too unfair, that makes it like, okay, fine. That should. Oh my god, that baby scared me. But yeah, that stuff is. Stop complaining. Like, if you want an easy game, play like anything else that isn't Dark Souls related to the difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's like a bunch of stuff. Just to note that baby is gonna be crying, but I'll be basically like muting every time I'm done talking. But when it comes down to it, it's like the Dark Souls type of stuff. Like, you know, you have Dark Souls, you have Bloodborne, now you have Sekiro. In one case, people obviously could say Cup Souls, you know, Cuphead. But you know, there's just like that whole side of like gaming where there doesn't need to be an easy mode because the point of it is to be hard.
Yeah,
There's that.
as long as you do it like a checkpoint system in a way, that is fine because
Oh, and Darksiders. Forgot Darksiders 2. That's another game that's
Oh.
part of that kind of thing.
I think yeah,
Especially, yeah.
I don't know about 3 because I've not played Dark Souls 2 either.
3 is.
I think I have one of the games on play.
I think they try to make it a lot harder in 3.
And I think that those sort of games is not my style, so I'm not playing those. Of course, because I have Bloodborne
Yeah, I mean,
on PlayStation because I got it for free.
it was a free game.
Steam.
Yeah, I have it too, but I haven't played a single bit of it. I mean, I don't play Dark Souls. I don't play Bloodborne. I played a bit of the first Darksiders, and I do plan to play more of it sometime soon. Mainly, I'm waiting on Architect to watch at times because it's the whole reason why I started, because they wanted me to play it. So there's that little bit. That's off topic, but yeah. I don't know, but yeah, that's a lot of rant.
Yeah, but that is what we
But
did best.
oh yeah. Another thing about Kotaku that I gotta mention, by the way, I'm not gonna mention much about it. It's super old news. It's a super old article too. If you want to hear about it, it's a video, which is actually funny because for anyone who's like a fan of Game Grumps or anything, just search up Game Grumps Kotaku article. Just it's kind of funny. They make like a one article that's like completely trashing them, has a bunch of typos and a bunch of other stuff, and it's just like completely wrong information. And then they go off and make a second article that just like it's like, oh hey, these are great guys. Like, really? You just made an article trashing them. Now you're making another one saying they're good.
Which one is it?
And I think they even made a mistake in the next article too. That they made more mistakes in that one. Like, oh, there's still stuff wrong. Oh, just don't just Kotaku. Go somewhere else for your news. Even though IGN is kind of annoying and it's just everything these days, it's still more plausible. It's you're gonna get better info there. I think GameSpot's okay. Game Rant's a little shaky, but just don't go to Kotaku.
Like
No.
Kotaku and Polygon, that's like no. I'm watching a YouTuber
Polygon's a little
specifically.
iffy.
Like this says
Yeah, game.
those two is like going. He does gaming news. He says that Kotaku and Polygon is like no, that's not good sources, unless you know they have the news that actually exists everywhere. Don't go there.
Yeah. Also, everyone when it comes down to like back when Tetris 99 was released around like the last Nintendo Direct, like when Tetris 99 was released, there was like a random hint, like even a Twitter page that was created, like a fake Tetris 99 thing that said, "Oh hey, the game is on the Nintendo Switch and the Sony PSP. Like yeah, it's on here." And then an article actually fell for it and started writing a whole thing about like, "Oh hey, there's this on the PSP." Like you didn't even download the game to try it. You just went off that page. You didn't test to see if it was true. You're just like, "Oh hey, it's there too." Like, what? And then you actually go on to it's like, "Oh nope, sorry, it's a fake." Like, learn. I think that actually was Polygon. That was a Polygon article. I don't know. I don't remember, but it was just stupid.
Didn't we talk about
Like
this
I even saw it
also?
myself.
I think we both talked about this.
We
Was like
we talked about it in a Discord thing. Like I sent it. Like I was like, huh? Like as I was thinking it wasn't real. I was like, huh? This is kind of weird. Why would it be on PSP? The store's dead. You can't even access. You can't even access the PlayStation Store on PSP. I was like, did they make another way to get it? Like that'd be weird. And then I look more on the Twitter page. I'm like, oh, this is totally fake. This is totally fake. And more as you read into it, it's like, yeah, fake. There's not even a download link. There isn't even a purchase link. It's nothing. It was just a troll account.
yeah.
I've run out of something to drink, so I'm like, oh.
I still have something. I still have three.
This is why I wish I had a mini fridge. I'd love to have a mini fridge so I can just like have stocked full of drinks in case I need it.
It's bit the.
Anybody want to donate so I can get a mini fridge?
I would donate you 0.26 bucks.
So basically,
26
I'll
cents.
have. Okay, so basically, you're just gonna make sure I have.
50.
No, that'd be 52.
Yeah.
52 cents. Because 26 plus 26. Yeah.
Yeah, see? I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, I am like 0.01% on the way to buying a mini fridge in that case. No, seriously, I wouldn't want a donation or tip for that. That is worthless. I could just get that on my own accord. That's just my own thing. That has nothing to do with stream stuff.
Well, I would not donate money to you. I would donate games to you.
Yeah, that's obviously a better course. Which, that is a system on Streamlabs, which I don't have set up, where you can actually, like, you put off a wish list, and people can basically, they send the money for that game, and it'll actually just give you the Steam key. So it's just like, boom, they bought you that game, and you can just have that Steam key. Like, that system's kind of cool, in a way. I just don't have it set up. Mainly because I can't accept money. Thanks, PayPal. Wanted freaking to get verified, which I can't find the documents I need. Trying to find them, can't find them.
Can't you find them online, like everything else today?
No. One of the documents is you get them, and you're supposed to have them, and if you lose it, then you have to get brand new ones, and that means changing it completely. That ain't good.
It ain't good, eh, boy?
No, that ain't good. Need to get something else entirely.
But
Gonna go in there shooting.
stuff, I think it's a really good time to end because my cat is starting to claw the door down. Quite literally.
I mean, we've basically been streaming for quite a bit now. I mean, I'm actually gonna check the time we've been.
2:25.
I'll check. Don't let me. I hate you.
2:26.
I wanted to check myself. 2:26 now for me. But I want to check myself. I hate you. I said, don't tell me. I like knowing for myself. How dare you?
How dare you tell me stuff that I want to
How
know?
dare you tell me things that I want to know? You don't need. I didn't want it from you. I wanted to find out myself. Because I'm selfish.
I mean, that's like asking someone,
Anyway.
oh, what's the then like go check yourself. Why ask if you're gonna check your?
I mean, I wanted to go check myself. I'm like, I think aloud. We're not a podcast. I think aloud. I don't know. Hopefully one day I hope this actually can be better, this whole podcast situation, in a sense. Like, I feel like hardware-wise, I'm set up fine. Software-wise, however, I need to fix up some stuff. Especially, like, the way the preview looks, because we have some blurry freaking icons.
Okay, those
Maybe
icons
one day we could do, like, a webcam.
I promise you, you can. On my screen, you can barely see your icon's name on the name in the middle. The name in the middle.
Right.
You see like an N, then maybe an E or like a terrible L. Then you see the X.
But,
yeah, it's such a terrible.
I don't know. Well, like I said, maybe in the future we can have like a face cam type of situation, but
that's gonna be a
yeah,
bit
no
hard
way,
because we are on two different parts of the world, and I don't have a face cam on my PC.
well, that's the thing. Like, if you were to get that in that sense, and then like say we could do Rabbit, for example. I think Rabbit has a system where you can have it to where when someone talks, it flips over to their camera, which would be kind of a seizure-inducing whenever we talk over each other, because we like just like keep switching.
And then these 200 people dead from podcast. No one knows why.
Right.
And then it tries to check.
I mean, I guess that probably me too, considering I used to have seizures. But you know, as long as I don't look over. Right. No, like I said, I hope the quality ups. To note, like I said, I am recording this as well. I didn't do that beforehand because I want to actually edit these down audio-wise and then upload it to a service that does podcasts. Like, for example, the one I'm trying to do is Castbox. No, don't have any, like, sponsorships or anything. Somebody should totally do sponsorships.
Gave us one. Wink, wink. Especially energy.
I mean,
ones.
hey, usually
wink, wink.
Oh. Are we gonna be one of those people getting G Fuel sponsorships? I don't actually know about that, honestly. I don't know. I don't know if I like that.
Red Bull one or.
Probably Monster. I'd probably take Monster.
Yeah, you can take
a Monster
I prefer Red.
Red Bull's okay. Maybe the new ones. Maybe the new Red Bull stuff because like they're actually not that bad.
Like,
the flavor
recently
stuff.
I tried to add different stuff in the videos, like, but also don't forget to buy Red. And then you like got the most.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Point is, whoever first sponsors, I'm in. Come, okay, no, I'm not saying first come first serve. Like, oh, you're a terrible company. I'm just gonna accept sponsorships, like, or a terrible product. Like,
do you want to
be good
sponsor
enough.
You're like,
it's like Kotaku. It's like, hey, you want to get sponsored by us? No.
You said the first one. You like.
We accept sponsors. We don't accept losers. Even though we're nerds.
We make
nerds,
losers,
like, where
we are losers with standards.
back in the day, nerds were all losers. Like, no one was accepted as a nerd. But these days, it's the high thing. If you're a nerd, you're awesome. Most of the time.
But also, we may be
losers.
There's
a huge thing of nerds.
We're losers with standards.
Right. We have a style for things. We gotta have it right. But I don't know. Point is, like, just everybody wants a sponsor, going ahead. But as I was saying, the audio is basically going to go on. I'm going to try this service called Castbox because that's the only one I can find so far where you can actually upload your own podcast while at the same time the service has a bunch of actual famous ones. You know, like all the like really good podcast stuff that are out there that people like. So that's something I can go for. Like, okay, I'll put it on the service. Not saying we're going to get a lot of viewership. It's a way to have the audio only version so you don't have to have a YouTube video open staring at two blurry icons, two probably not even matched up mics, and a bad music thing, which is my side, and then or his side, depending on which one of us you're watching at the moment. Really depends. So you don't have to watch a video thing; you just hear us. Which, in a way, by the way, I've been actually getting really into like listening to podcasts while playing a game. Like I'll play a game, I put it on my Xbox in the background, just to have like a podcast running. I don't know why. It's kind of soothing. Like, oh hey, get something to do.
Games.
Me too, but in a way, I kind of like the podcast thing too. It's like just something else to do. But yeah, that might as well be the end of the podcast. We kind of run out of topics. I mean, not really. There are some still on here that we could do, but
it's
we'll
more
be
of
fine.
the timing right now. The time this started to be like we double up.
We've already like ranted a lot on other stuff, and there's not really much to go on ranting on that end.
Yeah, and
we done what we
start
done.
talking about topics, and it's gonna be the boring part of our podcast where we actually have a topic.
Right. Yeah, it's like, oh hey, it's like, okay, we're starting off slow, jump up, oh we're up here, and now we're going back down.
Yeah, we're gonna...
like, that's basically how it went on our talking.
But with this, on both sides, because I think it's gonna keep it as a video on YouTube, so check out.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna stay as a video no matter what. So
yeah,
you know, if you want to go to the audio thing, sure, go. You know, that's what I'm putting it there for, to try out, see how it works.
Send me a link, all free of, or at least these podcasts, because yes, I want the link so I can send if people want the audio stuff in there. So yeah, he probably.
Well, that's the thing. That's something I was actually gonna. That is something I was gonna explain actually. I was gonna explain that, but I got off track. But when it comes down to it, I don't know if I'm gonna put the first two on there. Like, I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm like, that's more rough and more harder to do because I kind of set it up a little bit differently, especially the audio. Like in this one, I put the music audio pretty low in comparison to your voice, while the first two, I actually had it a little bit higher, so sometimes the music would get a little loud and I'd have to change it sporadically to actually try to fit. But now I just keep it at one standard volume.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my issue.
So if he doesn't upload, at least I'm gonna have a link to the website,
I don't,
hopefully, unless he forgets to give it to me.
I should give it to you, but it's most likely I won't have episodes 1 or 2 on there. It'll start with 3.
Yes.
And the first 2, if I'm able to like add an addition to the file, I'll add in the beginning saying, hey, if you want to watch the first 2 or watch the first 2 episodes, you have to go to the YouTube thing, but the rest will be on here as well as YouTube.
Yes.
So there's that.
So, and for those that are on YouTube and maybe if you're too dumb to watch the VOD, I don't know why people watch VOD sometimes, but people do. I prefer to watch it on YouTube anyways. I prefer to watch videos on YouTube and streams on Twitch. Mostly.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. Unless they actually upload the videos on Twitch, to like actually upload them, then I'm fine with that. I'll watch it there.
I have not watched someone do that. But I'm like,
I have.
Like
it's not too bad. I mean, it actually does have a live chat.
Or the streams also like that too. Like you see a shorter version of the stream and more of the highlights of the stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't forget to both subscribe to both of us. Next to 71C, there is a link in the description. I have done a thing, so I did a smart thing for once. I think it's a surprise here, but I had 2 different links in my description to 2 people, but that's because I've started to do like those I stream with a lot. So I put both those links in the description so I don't have to do it every single time because I'm lazy and
I have mine set up in a way.
And then also follow us on Twitch. All in the description.
Thing is, on the YouTube, well, on mine end right now, I only put the YouTube link, like for you. I only put your YouTube link.
You don't put your own
mainly
Twitch
because
link
it's just
even?
I see. No, my own Twitch link is in there. I didn't put your YouTube link in, or I put your YouTube link. I didn't put your Twitch.
Yeah. Apparently, you have to go to my YouTube link to get to my Twitch link. So, good luck for you.
I can add it later. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but like, and also, what else do we have to tell? Like, because that's funny when we see a like.
I mean, hey, we see more likes, then it's like, oh, hey, don't like just to like. I mean, that's the thing. Like, don't just do that. Just be like, oh, hey, we're saying like 2 like. Don't just do it because of that. Actually, do like
because you like.
if you liked it. There's something you liked about it.
And if you dislike it,
if you
dislike
actually
it. That's
enjoyed
the
it.
thing. Disliking it,
Yeah.
and that's another thing. Another user says, give us critique. Give us a critique of what can we do better, what can we do worse, or what we can do worse. That I promise you, we can do a lot of stuff worse.
Yeah.
Can you sit this silent?
And I'm sure there's a lot of stuff we could do better. So. One of which I already know someone's gonna mention to do better. Well, two things. One, saying to get the topics a little bit better on hand. I mean, we have good topics, it's just we don't settle onto them very well. So there's that.
Yeah,
and then
to be honest,
some